fine. AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Hello, you're here. Good. We got a lot to tell you. We're on, it's John Kobylt Show, and we're on every day from 3 until 6. And anything you miss, you can pick up on the podcast, John Kobylt Show on Demand on the iHeart app. That's right. That's what it's called. And now you can go to YouTube. We are live on YouTube this second. And to subscribe or become a member, youtube.com/@JohnKobyltShow, youtube.com/@JohnKobyltShow. Okay, that's how you can hear us. That's how you can watch us. And now you listen closely because Jamie Paige from the California Post just broke this story an hour and a half ago, almost exactly. And it's a doozy. Somehow she and a photographer got inside the Los Angeles County vote counting ballot processing center, I guess you'd call it. It's 144,000 square feet. And she found a lot of nothing. There are stacks and stacks, bins and bins of ballots that haven't been counted and rows of desks. And there's nobody at the desks. And this is the main processing center. Deborah, tell me if I'm wrong. Last I looked 20 minutes ago, there were still no updates since 5 o'clock yesterday. And 5 o'clock yesterday was a little tiny blip.
You're correct. There should be another update around 4 o'clock this afternoon.
All right. I mean, it's almost the same totals since 7 a.m. yesterday.
Yes.
Which makes no sense because in LA County, they managed to count 1,000,003 votes the first day. And now 2 days since, next to nothing. Let's go to Jamie Paige. She's on the phone here. Jamie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, John?
I'm all right. Well, explain. Are you still there?
I'm in their parking lot right now, just trying to talk to folks. I am, but to be clear, this facility is open to all of us media. You can go in tomorrow and do a tour if you want. It's supposed to be a very transparent process. But when we went in, I have to say I was genuinely surprised to see a lack of staff in this facility.
So they aren't furiously counting votes? You would think that all the machines would be working and all the desks would be staffed and they'd be frantically opening up all the bins and not much of that?
That's the scene I expected to see when I went in there. Although we went to visit today because, as you had just mentioned, the numbers that we're seeing coming out are extremely low. In 2 days, we only saw 77,000 ballots counted. So that's the reason we went today, just to see why is it taking so long. I expected the process that they keep explaining, although I know it's in place. They open the ballot, they check the signature, all of these things that they say safeguard our electoral system. But what I saw were rows and rows of empty desks. I was in there in the morning. I left to go file my story. I went back in at 1:30, and the entire place almost was empty. When I asked the staffer where everyone had went, they told me lunch, which is fine. Lunch breaks and all of that are fine, right? But this is a process where we're just waiting to see, who was elected, who's going on to the November elections, and an extremely expensive process at that.
And you don't have to. Everybody doesn't have to take lunch at the same time. Yeah. And like on election night here, they bring pizza for everybody. And everybody walks around with pizza and has it at their desk or has it on the air here. I mean, this idea that it should be all hands on deck 24/7.
It should be. That's what we expect. And yes, we have the same order pizza, stay at your desk, work the entire night system in our newsroom at the Post as well. It was really eye-opening and telling. And you have to see the photos almost to believe that.
I'm looking at them. Happened, right? I mean, it looks like a place that had gone out of business.
I just ran into a gentleman who was here yesterday and came back today with binoculars. And I asked him why. And he said he wanted to see if people were in other rooms that they couldn't see from where we were standing. We all have to stand in what they call the bullpen. We're not allowed in the facility itself. So he brought back a pair of binoculars today to see if there was more to it than what we were seeing.
Well, yeah, actually, when I saw the photos, my first reaction was, did she go to the right place? Did Google send her to the wrong address? Because I was just stunned how empty it was. Like, this has to be a mistake.
I thought the same thing. And when I talked to one of the workers there who apparently is assigned to media but didn't want to go on the record just to talk to me, and I said, why do we see all these empty chairs? What am I looking at? And he said, don't be fooled. There's a lot of work being done. I said, but I don't know. All of these chairs are emptied. Where is it being done? He seemed flustered and left, but
that's not a good response for a media liaison, getting flustered and leaving. But I mean, there's nothing on their desks, though. There's no one in the chairs, nothing on the desks, nothing on the computer screens. I mean,
No. And if you look at live shots from other media, you'll see the same thing I just saw. You'll watch live shots now. Watch people. LA Times has one where they were in the same room yesterday and posted a video. And behind Dean Logan, our county registrar, the facility looked empty. So this isn't just what I'm seeing when I'm posting with photos.
Well, how come they didn't do a story on this? You did.
I don't know what the answer is, but it definitely should be a story.
Well, yeah, $336 million budget, and they bought the desks and the computers and the chairs, and we paid for all that, and there's nobody.
The gentleman with binoculars called it the Twilight Zone, by the way. His words, not mine, but he called it the Twilight Zone. Yeah, well... Now we know why votes are trickling in. Tallies are trickling in.
Well, yeah, it seems like there's just like one guy, and he's just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and wow. Well, Jamie, terrific report and story and pictures, and if you find out anything from the wayward employees in the parking lot, please let us know.
I will do that.
All right, Jamie Paige with the California Post. Yes, the LA Times even has a live camera on it, and nobody there was curious enough, or maybe they didn't want to share the bad news with us, because that would make the LA County government look bad, and you can't do that if you're with the LA Times. The California Post has no such problem. So, Jamie, thanks very much for coming on. When we come back, all right, we've got, you probably don't know this guy, but he runs the election counting. Dean Logan, and he's got a shady past in ballot counting. He came out of Seattle. I think he was kicked out of Seattle, and now he's objecting to all the criticism of the slow ballot counting. And a surprising figure agreed today that the ballot counting is too slow, and you're not going to believe who. So all that's ahead, and Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. The LAPD may have had its own law enforcement gang, and the governments of Israel and Lebanon have agreed to renew a ceasefire. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour from the Odoo.com Weather Center. Odoo, the only business software you need. Sunny again tomorrow, high 70s to the 90s. This report brought to you by iHeartAdvertising.com. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. It's slow on the 10 in Santa Monica.
We're looking at that eastbound side, and the drive is pretty stacked right now as you make your way from almost 20th Street all the way across Mid-City as you continue towards the 5 in Boyle Heights. Some good news in Mission Viejo, that 5 northbound at La Paz Road. Earlier overturned car is out of lanes, and traffic looks great getting away from Crown Valley Parkway. We're also checking out the drive in Anaheim Hills, eastbound side of the 91. Well, these delays begin in Anaheim from Kramer-Glassell, taking you all the way to Green River. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Gearing up for summer travel? Then it's time to put that old car in your driveway to good use. Hey, it's Conway, and here's the deal. Donate your car to Cars for Kids in just 2 minutes. Go to carsforkids.org or phone them up, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K. Any condition, they'll take it and tow it for free. You'll get a tax deduction, a 3-day, 2-night hotel stay to use this summer. 2 minutes, free pickup, and a free vacation? Wow! Donate your your car today at carsforkids.org or call 1-877-CAUSE-FOR-KIDS. That's cars with a K.
June 4th, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is back with no gloves, no excuses, just raw smash mouth action. In the main event, a man who lives to fight, Julian Let Me Bang Lane, goes face-to-face with the undefeated Bryce Baba Yaga Henry. In the co-main event, Gogo Slaveski fights Johnny El Toro Tello in a bare-knuckle war. June 4th, don't miss what everybody's talking about. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Watch live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. Learn how podcasting can help your business at iHeartAdvertising.com.
This report is sponsored by Pro-Life Across America.
Hi, I'm Angie. Did you know a billboard can save a baby's life? It's true. You can make a difference by helping us spread the pro-life message to reach those who are struggling with an unplanned pregnancy. Please make a gift today. Visit prolifeacrossamerica.org.
Are you retired or close to retirement? Last year, the S&P was up about 16%. Gold, 65%. Silver, almost 150%. Get a free information kit on adding gold or silver to an IRA or 401k, tax and penalty free. goldencrestmetals.com. 833-362-3843.
Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Just Food for Dogs, the #1 vet-recommended fresh dog food. Made right here in LA.
You know what your customers are doing right this second? The exact same thing you are, listening to me. Which, let's be honest, is kind of flattering. But my point is, ads on iHeartRadio actually get heard. In the car, at the gym, on the couch, while people are walking their dogs. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. That's right, you're a good boy. So why not make the next ad about you? Get started today. Call 844-844-iHeart or go to iHeartAdvertising.com. That's 844-844-iHeart or iHeartAdvertising.com.
At some point, body pain may creep in and become your reality that day. But Aleve is here to keep you moving. One pill gives you up to 12 hours of body pain relief. So don't let pain hold you back. Try Aleve today. Use as directed.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Education doesn't just take place in the classroom. There are many ways children of all ages can learn about sustainability and the environment at home. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth for a list of resources, activity guides, and toolkits that are educational and fun for the whole family. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
America's band, the Beach Boys, celebrate 250 years of the USA. July 4th, fireworks spectacular with the Beach Boys. Live. July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the Hollywood Bowl. With special guest John Stamos. Get tickets now at HollywoodBowl.com. Celebrate 250 years with America's original July 4th fireworks spectacular with the Beach Boys.
Being famous, where everywhere you go, people swarm you and recognize you and want to be with you and want to ask for autographs and tell you stories and take pictures. Everywhere you go, having to have security around you all times, worried about your family, worried about your kids, worried about your wife, it's not the way to go.
Tim Conway Jr., tomorrow night, 6 to 10 on KFI AM 640.
Just make enough money where you can fix your car.
More stimulating talk.
That's all you need in life.
I'm Michelle McPhee, and in my new podcast, Kingdom of Fraud, I'm unraveling the strangest criminal alliance I've ever reported on. A polygamist from Utah and an LA Armenian businessman.
$1 billion fraud.
But how long can this alliance last?
Is somebody coming after me?
Search Kingdom of Fraud on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network, and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We are on from 3 to 6. After 6, John Kobylt Show on demand. And we're live on YouTube right now. And to see it, you go to youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. Adding to the fun this afternoon, there's some kind of federal operation is the headline. Federal operation in MacArthur Park And on the local TV stations, there are helicopter shots showing what people being led away in handcuffs. There's a lot of law enforcement that's swirling around the park. We don't know exactly what they're doing, but this is probably a Bill Essayli operation out of the U.S. district, the federal district here in Los Angeles. And we'll tell you what it is when we come back. Maybe after 3:30, if we can get a news story together on it. Now, right now, I want to add to what we opened with, which was Jamie Paige from the California Post, and she went to the major vote counting facility in LA County. $336 million we spend on LA County and the whole ballot processing department. And yesterday, they only counted 77,000 additional ballots. And there's over 700,000 still outstanding. So yesterday, they didn't count 90% of the outstanding ballots. Now, the first day, on election day, they counted 1.3 million. Why did it drop to 77,000? And I remember saying as a joke, these are never jokes, really. I said, is anybody there? Is anybody working? Are they all stoned? Well, Jamie Paige from the California Post went there and found out. I'm looking at a photo of a huge warehouse-style room, because it used to be a warehouse for fries. And the county bought the building, and now you have endless rows of desks with computer monitors and chairs, and everything in the frame of the photograph is empty. And it goes, I mean, the rows and rows go way deep to the back of the room. There's virtually nobody working there. And so Jamie went there and saw with her own eyes, there's nobody working there. Apparently, there's some employees maybe out of sight in the back, but this is a main processing area. And also on pallets are tons and tons of unopened ballots stacked up. It looks like they're in some kind of boxes, some kind of packaging. The piles of empty ballots wait to be counted. Photographed by Jonathan Alcorn of the California Post. So he and Jamie Paige got in there. Now, I thought maybe they broke in, snuck in the back door, but she says, no, other media gets to look, but you're stuck in a bullpen area and you got to look through the window. And the LA Times has been there. In fact, they have a camera on it, like a live cam, but the LA Times doesn't report any of this. The headline should be 90% of ballots not being counted. Nobody's working there. That's the truth. This is how bias works. The really great bias is bias that you don't know they've omitted news or they've chosen not to cover news. It's what they decide not to tell you. That's how the great bias works. Now, the registrar, recorder, and county clerk for this mess is Dean Logan. Dean Logan is getting mad because everybody's pissed off that the count is so slow. And he says that the claims that the system is too slow, that's wrong because it's the law in this state. And the law mandates a certain process, but that the process is this slow is Dean Logan's fault. We gave him $336 million. Now, people can't be working from home, right? You can't count ballots working from home. So where are they? I mean, unless he's got a set of photographs that there's an alternate processing center somewhere and Jamie Paige drove to the wrong one. But again, the other reporters are there as well. So why is it so empty? One of the employees in the parking lot that Jamie talked to said, well, they're on lunch. Everybody's on lunch? Everybody's on lunch all at the same time. Is that how it works? Have you heard of DoorDash? Aren't there supposed to be sky-high piles of pizza boxes all over the place? Now, CNN anchor Alex Michelson did a piece last night, and he's trying to explain the process of how votes are counted and why it takes so long. And people are getting really pissed off online, and he's trying to say, look, I'm just presenting the process. He's not saying whether this is a good or bad process, but if you want to know what the process is supposed to be, here it is. Let's play.
Why does it take so long to count ballots in California compared to other states? Well, essentially, California leaders have made the decision that it's more important to give more people more time to make last-minute votes than it is to count quickly, where other states have said it's more important to count quickly and not necessarily give people as many options to vote at the last minute. So in California, you can turn your ballot in up until the very last day. As long as it is postmarked by Election Day, there's up to 7 days for that to come to a vote processing center like this one to be counted. Also, we mail ballots to every single registered voter in the state. Right now, about 80% of voters return their ballots by mail. Each one of them has to go through a signature verification process. If there's a problem in the signature verification process, then you're alerted and you have 10 days to fix that process to come what's called cure your ballot. All that takes time. Eventually, all those ballots come here where they are officially counted. But the whole process takes about 3 weeks, which is longer than most states who don't do most of that. And by the way, have a lot less people. LA County alone has 5.9 million registered voters, which is more voters than 41 other states. So there's a lot of vote by mail. There's a lot of steps to prevent fraud. And all that takes a lot of time, which is why California moves so slow. To speed up that process would include changing the laws in order to make that happen. But because of that, we haven't changed the laws. Right now, we do not know who's advancing in the race for LA mayor or the race for California governor.
Now, that's what he said. That's all true. My question is that their cover story? Is there another reason they make it so long and complicated? And I want to be clear here. I never bought into Trump's entire claim that the election was stolen. And if you were listening to the show then, you'd remember. We just spent a lot of time with it because I thought the whole thing was absurd. He went to court 60 times, maybe 62 times. He lost every single time. We had one of his, we had the law professor, John Eastman, on, who was eventually caught up legally in that story. And I kept hammering him with the same question. Well, if you're right and Trump's right, then how'd you lose 62 times in court? And he had this reason and that reason. But the truth is, like any ball team, you know, if the Dodgers start out 0-62, it means they have a bad team. There's no way to excuse it. And if you go to court and you're 0-62, it means you have no case. Now, you could claim that things are rigged behind the scenes in terms of manipulating the news and, you know, like, for example, getting media outlets not to cover the Hunter Biden laptop story, right? That part I understand, and that's true. But as far as the actual ballot counting itself, they never proved anything significant. I mean, maybe a little tiny story here, a little tiny story there, but you just didn't. Not if you're 0-62. So I'm not in that camp. But you take 3 weeks, and every single time the Democratic challenger ends up coming from behind or explodes into an even larger lead, and it takes 3 weeks, well, people are going to be suspicious, and they should be. I don't know what's going on for the 3 weeks they have the ballot. I know what they say. The story is what's supposed to be going on, and I'm not even accusing them here. I'm just saying, you have a bad system like this. There's a lot of people who are going to flat out not believe you. Why should they? Why should they trust you? Talk more when we come back. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Federal officials and LAPD officers are conducting an anti-drug enforcement operation in MacArthur Park. This comes about a month after another large-scale operation in the area around the park west of downtown LA. Video is showing at least 3 LAPD SUVs on walking paths in the park. Several more patrol cars are surrounding streets, and an armored law enforcement vehicle at one intersection. At least 3 people have been taken into custody. We will keep our eyes on this story. As soon as we get more information, we will bring it to you. The LAPD says a guy arrested in connection with the stabbing death of his mom's 81-year-old boyfriend in Tarzana has told investigators he's the son of the man and has confessed to killing the man of sin. Officers answered a 911 call this morning about trouble at a home on Irwin Street where they found the man unconscious in the front yard. He was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The LAPD may have had its own law enforcement gang.
An LAPD internal affairs report says the specialized police unit in the San Fernando Valley operated like a law enforcement gang and had a rampant culture of misconduct. The report says in 2023, the officers were accused of making dozens of improper traffic stops and tried to hide their actions from their superiors by turning off their body cameras.
KFI's Daniel Martindale says members of the gang enforcement detail told investigators they were in a gun hunting competition, and the officer who seized the most guns would pose for pictures with a championship belt. Governor Newsom says the state's 4th C-130 Hercules air tanker has started active service. He says the new air tanker and California's 11th Helitack base will be stationed at the Ramona Airport in San Diego County. They're part of the state's firefighting resources. And the governments of Israel and Lebanon agreed to renew a ceasefire after weeks of fighting between Israel and the militant group Hezbollah, but Hezbollah's leader has rejected it. The deal depends on Hezbollah stopping its attacks and leaving a section of southern Lebanon. It also proposes setting up pilot zones where the Lebanese military would take control. Hezbollah is backed by Iran and has significant influence within Lebanon. We're going to head over to the 210 next.
Summer is heating up, but your wallet doesn't have to. This June, American Vision Windows is offering no interest, no payments for 2 years on new windows and doors. That's right. You pay nothing until 2028. Now, new windows don't just help you beat the heat. They lock in your comfort year-round. They lower your energy bills, and they give your home a stunning upgrade your neighbors will notice. American Vision Windows is 100% employee-owned, so every person on your project has a personal stake in getting it right. It's their company. After 25 years, over 1 million windows installed, that accountability has made American Vision Windows, the most trusted name in window replacement. Most jobs done in just a day. Beautiful new windows by evening. 0 payments until 2028. The offer ends June 30th. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Call or see website for details. Are you ready for the website? AmericanVisionWindows.com or call 888-771-2188. 888-771-2188.
Southland weather from KFI. The June gloom is back in the morning. Then it will be sunny, high 70s to low 80s. Metro LA, 80s to mid 90s in the valleys, the high desert, and the IE. And windy again in the high desert and the IE. Low 70s at the beaches, mid to upper 70s inland to OC. Right now, 76 in Laguna Woods and 78 in Rancho Santa Margarita. Slow on the 210 in Pasadena.
Eastbound, you're on the brakes away from Mountain. Delays continue in stretches all the way to Foothill Boulevard, and then it's heavy through Upland as you approach the 15 freeway. Let's look at the westbound side of the 210. Delays also served up in Pasadena. This is leaving Rosemead, heading back towards the 134. It's tough it looks like it's Diamond Bar on that 57 northbound. Delays from Diamond Bar Boulevard all the way to the 60. Tough in Corona for the South 15. This is leaving the 91, looking better past Wyrick Road. And in the Cajon Pass, that drive's loading up 15 northbound from the 215 merge all the way to the 138. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Don't let the June gloom fool you. Whether it's cool or hot, termites are still active. Droppings and discarded wings are signs of an infestation. Call Pacific Coast Termite for a free inspection. Get our no tent, no move out treatment with a 2-year warranty. Call 800-PACIFIC. Some restrictions apply.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head, and the total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-764-6022. 800-764-6022. 800-764-6022.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
No one really likes talking about bad breath. So Zellman's wants to change the conversation and talk about fresh breath. Zellman's has become so popular because they work and they're unlike any other breath freshener on the planet. You don't have to believe me. Take the Zellman's challenge. Go ahead, order some today and see for yourself just how great they really are. With a money-back guarantee if you don't love them. Now, that's confidence. Go ahead and take the challenge. Zellman's is not available in stores, only at Zellmans.com, Zelmins, Zellmans.com.
Wilshire Law Firm. Born in L.A., built in L.A., fighting for L.A. We stand up for the people who make it great. Wilshire Law Firm is in Los Angeles, California.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
This is Jacob Emrani. When you need help after an accident, I'm here for you.
1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
It's the Marketer's Report. In this edition, Giovanni Martinez, Senior Director of Marketing and Innovation for Avocados from Mexico, weighs in on reach, frequency, and audio.
After researching and discussing with the team, we know that how powerful is audio. I mean, audio can really transmit emotions, and that's what we want. My company is so focused on performance. Every single thing we do, we measure it. So performance is key internally for the marketing team, and audio help us to do that, right? Because with the frequency, the reach that you can generate with that component is something that we always have as an add-on in our campaigns.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to all the audiences, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow, and all guaranteed human. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
KFI.
Yeah, fine. AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. We're on from 3 to 6, and we got 2 things going on. One is it's getting hot. People are pissed off that 2 days after the election, hardly any new votes have been counted. It's just been a slow. Well, there was a slow trickle yesterday in the late afternoon, and then nothing since. We're going to continue with that story because I got a lot to tell you. But what's also happening at the moment is in MacArthur Park, a major federal law enforcement operation, and some people have been detained. And we got Bill Essayli. Is he there? All right, let's get him on the line.
Hey.
Bill is the first assistant U.S. attorney for the Central District here in Los Angeles. Hey. Federal prosecutor. Bill, what's going on at MacArthur Park?
John, I'm here at the park. I am watching as this operation is going down here. We got the DEA and the LAPD out on this task force, and we are doing arrests of people under the influence in the park. I think you've seen us be very aggressive with drug dealers, and now we're going after drug using, which people may be surprised that it is still illegal in the state of California. It is. So we're actually doing something novel. We're enforcing the law. I'm looking at people who are like folded over, doing the fentanyl fold. You got people with syringes here. Some of them handed out at taxpayer expenses. We got people with drugs, and there's all kinds of stuff going on out here. You should be down here.
You know, maybe you could invite us on your next run, and we could join you with a live broadcast. I'd be interested in that.
The problem, John, is you're not subtle. You're gonna,
Yeah, I'd bring the bullhorn.
I'll you out of operation.
I'd shock all those fentanyl addicts out of their stupor, and they'd go running on you. Now, I thought that since you're the feds, you can't arrest them for local drug crimes.
That's why we're here with LAPD. So we're teamed up. Every DEA agent is teamed up with a LAPD officer, and we're here to support them. Obviously, if there's somebody selling drugs or committing a federal crime, we will take that. But as far as drug use, that is in the jurisdiction of the LAPD. That's why this is a task force. And I'm going to give huge credit today to LAPD. They've come out in force, and they are arresting people for using drugs in the park of MacArthur.
You've been working well with them on these raids that you've been doing.
Yeah, look, I have a really great relationship with Chief McDonald, and we've been working hand in hand. And we don't agree on some things. We don't agree on maybe immigration enforcement, but there's a lot of other areas that we very much agree with. And I will tell you, everyone across the board, doesn't matter city, county, politics, everyone is in support of cleaning up these streets. And, they've got FIFA coming here. They got big plans to have parties at the park. Well, you can't do it in the present conditions. So we're going to help get rid of the criminal element, and then the city can come in and hopefully rehabilitate this park.
I was going to ask you about that when that news broke, when Bass announced they were going to have a huge watch party over at MacArthur Park for the World Cup. And it's like, how do you do that with so many drug addicts and gang members and criminals, just so much mayhem that goes on? It seems like that's the seeds for some kind of disaster.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is, which is why you can't have it. But also, you can't have one of these one and done operations. So today's the beginning of this full task force, and they're going to be out here on a regular basis, unannounced. So it could be any day, any time, any night. And they're going to do these sweeps regularly where they go through the park and arrest people who are using drugs.
All right, Bill Essayli, thank you for coming on.
All right, John. See you. Bye.
Bill Essayli, first assistant U.S. attorney for the Central District federal prosecutor here in Los Angeles, and they're doing arrests in MacArthur Park of the drug users. And like we said, is the feds can't arrest you for a local drug crime, but they can work in connection with local law enforcement, the LAPD, and the LAPD can make the arrests. And if they find any drug pushers or anybody else committing a federal crime, they could scoop those people up as well and charge them federally. All right. Now, back to, I guess what Bill and I were talking, Deborah, no new votes came in?
Nope, but it's not 4:00 yet, John.
All right. Well, everybody's very anxious. So we're going through why the voting is taking so long. And it seems there are many components. They have a laborious process. And they have no employees working, it seems. Jamie Paige, California Post, went to the election site where they're supposed to be processing votes in the county, and hardly anybody was working there. I don't know what that is about. But Gavin Newsom, his press office admitted that this is not good because this whole California voting situation has ignited Trump. And he went on Truth Social and said, the Democrats are at it again. Here we go with the very late and massive numbers of mail-in ballots. There's big cheating by the Democrats in California. Votes are all tied up, may not be in for weeks. And just to reiterate, I never bought into Trump's stolen election in 2001. However, I don't trust California holding on to these ballots for 3 weeks. I don't know why people should have confidence in a system like this and then lecture us for not being patient. That's what's really getting irritating. The state of Florida, pretty large state, they have all their votes counted that night. And they have an extensive mail-in ballot operation. So people can mail in the ballots, and they are, and it gets counted that night. One of the things they do as an example is they count the ballots as they come in. And it seems like California doesn't count anything until the night of. Another thing is you have to get your ballot in by election day, one way or the other, either by mail or in person. And here in California, they can come in for 7 days? That's nonsense. That's garbage. Well, we just want everyone to have a chance to vote. People know election day months in advance. Just plan your life. For example, I know what day is the presidential election in 2030. Or not the presidential election, but the federal election in 2030, which would coincide with the next governor's election after this term. It's November 5th. So I have 4.5 years to make sure I'm available on November 5th to walk in and vote. Or I know I have 4.5 years until the first week in October to make some time to fill in my ballot and mail it in. So if they just did what Florida did, 2 simple things, and say that election day is the deadline, period, and then count the ballots on the way in, those 2 things would speed up this process. Now, we gave Dean Logan $336 million. Why doesn't he do that? He'll say, well, it's not the law. Well, why don't you advocate to change the law? Why do they want to hold onto the ballots for 3 weeks? Well, it's our process. Is it your process? Again, or is there another reason, another story? I'm not a conspiracy guy. But when you do something really, really irrational like this year after year, I start to wonder, what's in it for you here? Why would you do this? This is terrible. Nobody else is doing this in the country. Nobody. If 80% of the votes are mailed in, that's what Alex Michelson said in his report, then you should have a staff and a system to handle all those ballots. Instead, they all come in. It's like, oh, I didn't know we were going to get this many. And it looks like they gave everybody a vacation day or a vacation week because nobody's working, according to Jamie Paige at the California Post. So that's on, for Newsom. Oh, did I finish the Newsom quote? Yeah. After Trump was saying they're at it again, Newsom's office said there's a lot of misinformation floating around about California's election, including from the president. And yes, for the record, we wish the votes were counted faster too, says Newsom's office, meaning Newsom. Well, it's your system. You wish it was counted quicker? Your system. Your rules, your laws, your Secretary of State, you're the government. Oh, this is, again, the customer service empathy trick. Yes, I understand your pain. I feel your concern. I hear you. F you. You designed this stupid system that no other state has. No other state has this. This is incompetence and stupidity or worse. And there's a reason people don't trust it. And that alone means you ought to fix it. Because everybody's losing trust in the system. There's nobody I know who isn't making a joke about California elections. Because this is outrageous. Because, we all have friends and relatives in the other 49 states. So we know this is a load of garbage. All right, Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. Federal officials and LAPD officers are conducting an anti-drug enforcement operation in MacArthur Park. A special city council meeting is being held in Garden Grove today to talk about accountability after that recent chemical tank crisis. We'll have more at the top of the hour. We're heading to the 210 next.
Oh, and I got 3 more reasons why you may not trust the whole system. But first, I want to tell you something else. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, well, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done, right? They're done. And you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. Your business runs all year, and so do the gaps and the risk. And that's why I'm introducing SuperSure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, the CFO, or the HR manager, it can be too complex just to buy a policy online. SuperSure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. This is fascinating. It translates your current policy into plain English, so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus, a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know exactly what needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, and all your policies in one place. Supersure.com, supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy, slow on the 210 in Arcadia.
This is the westbound side, and that drive is loading up at Santa Anita Avenue, taking you back all the way to the 134. Pasadena, eastbound 210, slowing from Mountain and stretches all the way to Foothill Boulevard. It's heavy ahead through Upland. If you're making that North 15 connector into the Cajon Pass, that drive will slow down right around Glen Helen Parkway, remaining heavy and slow ahead to the 138 with Southern California's most accurate traffic reports. I'm Angel Martinez.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
Just days after being acquired by the Rams, edge rusher Myles Garrett has agreed to a new 5-year contract that includes a raise for this season. The Dodgers are looking to leave Arizona with a third straight win. Los Angeles entered the day with a 7-game lead in the National League West. And 2 fans are being banned from NBA arenas for life after plotting a court storming during Game 1 of the Finals on Wednesday. I'm Frank Aaron.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at the Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it in and get a quote in minutes. Plus, access thousands of products beyond what's in store or on Lowe's.com. Right from the Lowe's Pro Desk.
Have you tried Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro but still feel stuck? Many patients lose some weight on injections only to plateau while still struggling with obesity, sleep apnea, reflux, diabetes, or joint pain. Plus, monthly medication costs can add up. And many people regain weight after stopping treatment. West Medical's bariatric surgery might just provide the long-term solution you've been looking for. Schedule your free consultation at 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
What if this weekend was different? What if you didn't just live with stress or anxiety? What if you actually did something about it? What if you could change your life in just 2 days? You can. At the Dianetics Seminar, based on Dianetics, the modern science of mental health, you'll learn and apply powerful techniques designed to free yourself from emotional and physical burdens holding you back. It's hands-on, and you'll put the tools to work immediately. In a single weekend, you can relieve stress, reduce anxiety, and take charge of your mental health. Make this the weekend that changes everything. Go to Dianetics.org/seminar. That's Dianetics.org/seminar.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-345-2789. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems. And if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-345-2789. That's 800-345-2789 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-345-2789.
Hey, y'all, it's Dean Sharp, your house whisperer. You know, here in L.A., Tina and I got tired of wondering what was actually in our tap water, and that is why we put in a LifeSource whole house water system. Now, I don't think twice about the water that my family drinks or cooks with or showers in. That is peace of mind, and that is why LifeSource has become an essential home appliance. And for a limited time, you get factory direct pricing and free installation. Call the factory direct at 800-WATER-99 or visit LifeSourceWater.com.
KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, mistakes are in the DNA of America. And I'm going to tell you about 10 American inventions that were discovered by mistake. KFI has a mistake. They refer to it as the Bill Handel Show. That's coming up tomorrow morning after 7 on the next Bill Handel Show.
KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Oh, the day's just getting better. I'm looking up at the Channel 5 News, and there's a bear strolling through my section of town. 2 days ago, it was a mountain lion in our near our neighborhood, some blocks away.
And yesterday, or the day before, there was a bear in Encino.
Yeah, they all are climbing out of the woods, I guess, looking for food and water. I'm sure that the fire has disrupted everybody's normal habitat, but I have never seen so many bear and mountain lion reports.
I know.
As I've had in the last couple of weeks in Santa Monica, Brentwood, Encino, all that. All right. We've been talking about this atrocious vote counting situation, and I don't want to hear from this weasel, this parasite, Dean Logan, who's the registrar. He's in charge of counting the votes in L.A. County. Your job is to get this done as quickly as possible. They do it in Florida. How come Ron DeSantis has such a brilliant system that they have mail-in ballots and everybody votes by election day and everything's counted on election night? Why is that? Why is he so smart and you're so stupid? Why do they work so hard in Florida and you're so lazy? Here's the problem with California. 80% of the ballots come in by mail, according to Alex Michelson's report on CNN. They give out the ballots to everyone in the state. That's the law. That's by design. Except there's hundreds of thousands of people that are dead, and they get the ballot. Then you've got literally millions of people since the last governor's election that have moved out of the state. And then you have others that are MIA. They may be here, they may be dead, but they don't vote. And if you don't keep your voting active, your registration can lapse, but they don't clear the voter rolls of infrequent or not or voters who never bother at all. And maybe there's a reason they're not voting, or maybe they just don't care anymore. But in any event, those people should be cleared off the rolls and not given a ballot. Now, everybody knows the story because I see it posted all the time, and we've had this happen at our house. You get ballots for people that used to live at your address. I still get mail for my father, my father-in-law, rather, who died 11 years ago, but for about a year or two, he lived with us, and he started getting some mail, and he still gets stuff. And when we moved into this address, we were getting mail for like the two previous owners. So all these people getting ballots, of course there's going to be mayhem. Of course there is, when you literally have millions of ballots going to non-existent voters. And then you have ballot harvesting. And simply explained, ballot harvesting means another person can collect your ballot and hand it in. And there's an unlimited number of ballots that person could hand in. And what the ballot harvesters do is they go to areas where they could convince people to vote, like nursing homes or immigrant neighborhoods where people don't speak English. Areas where people are compromised in some way, easily influenced, homeless people, for example. And you could suggest who they should vote for, collect their ballot, and then hand it in. So that's the rigging. That's the fraud. How could there not be? Which is why they protect this whole system so passionately. Why do you think they protect this system? Oh, it's because we want everyone to have a chance. No, it's not. You know it's not. They're a bunch of liars and thieves. Look how miserable they've made everybody in this state. And they always got a cover story, and everybody's such a damn fool they believe all the cover stories. No, here's what's really going on. If you get a supply of dead people ballots, a supply of people who've moved away, a supply of people who've given up voting, and you don't know what their status is, ballot harvesters. I mean, you can go to an Alzheimer's memory care home, and you could really run up the score there. And you can get paid to do that, as long as you're not getting paid by the ballot, but you're just getting a general salary. There's no end to the number of ballots you could pile up. And even if they paid you by the ballot, who's going to enforce that law? It's the kind of corrupt system you get when you have one party rule for 16 years. Happens all over the world since the beginning of time. All right. I know we have somebody coming on. We're going to have, State Senator Suzette Valladeres, and she wants a comprehensive audit of the state and community corrections board and how they administered Prop 47 grant funds, because Prop 47 was supposed to reduce crime and do other good things. And there was a lot of money involved. What happened to it? What was it spent on? We'll tell you about it when we come back. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Drug bust. I'm Deborah Mark live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Federal officials and LAPD officers have gone into MacArthur Park as part of a continuing crackdown on illegal drug activity. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Bill Essayli told John Kobylt just a little while ago that police officers have made several arrests.
Obviously, if there's somebody selling drugs or committing a federal crime, we will take that. But as far as drug use, that is in the jurisdiction of the LAPD.
Essayli says the sweep is a continuation of Operation Free MacArthur Park that started in early May with a major raid in the park and at several neighboring storefronts. A special city council meeting is being held in Garden Grove later today to talk about accountability after the recent chemical tank crisis. Orange County agencies will give officials guidance on how to pursue that accountability. From GKN Aerospace, the company is pledging millions of dollars to the community, but residents are calling for added protections to make sure nothing like the threat of an explosion happens again. A special ballot measure calling for a total ban on data centers in Monterey Park is getting overwhelming support.
Out of more than 7,000 votes counted, nearly 86% of voters said yes to Measure NDC banning data centers. A 2024 proposal to build one nearly 250,000 square feet in Monterey Park drew major backlash from residents concerned about water and electricity use, noise and air pollution, and proximity to homes. In December, Monterey Park City Council tabled a vote on the data center, then decided to let voters decide. Mayor Elizabeth Yang says the company that proposed the data center has pulled its application and won't fight the ballot measure. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
1 week before the first World Cup match, nearly 2,000 bartenders, cooks, and other hospitality workers at SoFi Stadium are set to vote on whether to authorize a strike. ABC's Alex Stone says one issue is wages. Workers are asking for $30 an hour.
The other thing that they are saying is they don't like that FIFA is demanding that they give up their social security numbers and fingerprints to do background checks. And they say they feel like this is going to turn into immigration enforcement.
FIFA says that's just a security check for SoFi Stadium, and this issue is between the workers and the company. The LA County Sheriff's Department has carried the torch for the Special Olympics.
Sheriff Robert Luna, LA County DA Nathan Hochman, and others have made the annual law enforcement torch run to raise awareness and money for the Special Olympics Southern California. The 1,100-mile relay through all counties in Southern California began in Chula Vista on May 26th and made its way through LA County all this week before lighting the big torch at Cal State Long Beach to begin the games, which run from Friday through Monday. The Flame of Hope is also making its way toward Minnesota for the Special Olympics USA Games, which begin on June 20th. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
Some former Department of Justice employees are pushing back on President Trump's nomination of acting Attorney General Todd Blanche to be Attorney General. They say they object to the nomination because Blanche has never stopped acting as Trump's personal lawyer. Blanche says being nominated is an honor.
I was confirmed a year ago to be the Deputy Attorney General. I still am the Deputy Attorney General. I will work with the senators. I have a good relationship with the Senate on both sides.
Blanche stepped in when Pam Bondi was let go from the AG position. His confirmation in the Senate is up in the air. And the number of unemployed Americans applying for state benefits unexpectedly went up last week. ABC's Jim Ryan says economists had expected initial jobless filings to stay at around 215,000.
Instead, the figure surged to 225,000 applications. The 4-week moving average is less prone to wild fluctuations, but even it rose last week by 6,500 from the week before.
It's the highest number of unemployment benefits claims in 4 months. We're going to check out the 101 next.
If you're looking to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage. They'll make you a cash offer. No need for repairs. They can close in days. They buy as is. They buy with cash. That's all you need to know. They might offer a $10,000 advance to help you move. Go read the reviews online. Call for a no obligation offer. 888-321-AS-IS. 888-321-AS-IS. 888-321-2747. SellersAdvantage.com.
Seller's Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 01961658. Providence Realty DRE number 01915212.
Southland weather from KFI. June gloom back again in the morning. Then sunny, high 70s to low 80s. Metro LA, 80s to mid 90s in the valleys, the high desert, the IE. Windy again in the high desert and the IE. Low 70s at the beaches, mid to upper 70s inland OC. Right now, 74 in Tustin, and it is 80 in Van Nuys. The KFI financial update brought to you by Supersure, supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed up 875, S&P 500 up 31, NASDAQ down 23. We're going to the 101 in Sherman Oaks.
It's a stall that's reported on the southbound side coming up on Woodman. Second lane from the left was last blocked, and delays overall pushing back all the way out of Calabasas from just about Las Virgenes. Now, it's also tough on that northbound side of the 101. That drive is loading up out of Hollywood. From Melrose, delays and stretches all the way to White Oak in Encino. Still very slow on the 5. This is on the northbound side getting out of Burbank. You've got delays leaving just about Buena Vista. You remain on the brakes all the way to the 14 freeway. Oh, you're making that 14 North connection? Slowing in stretches, leaving the 5. And that looks a lot better once you make your way past Soledad Canyon Road with Southern California's most accurate traffic reports. I'm Angel Martinez.
The next 3 years, LA will welcome the world with major events unmatched by any destination. This moment is bigger than sports. It's about the impact on our communities, businesses, and people. With the help of the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission foundational partners, Amgen, Archer Aviation, Kaiser Permanente, LA Tourism, and Metro, we're investing in the LA community and inspiring civic pride. Together, let's show the world why we love LA. To learn more about the FIFA World Cup coming this June, visit LosAngelesFWC26.com.
So many things, big and little, make you uniquely you. Your hobbies, dreams, careers, family, and more. Addiction to drugs, including opioids and stimulants, can strip these away from you. Recover your life. Choose treatment for drug addiction and get back to what matters most. Find a provider and proven treatment option that's right for you. Recover you at ChooseChangeCA.org.
Congressional districts change, lines get redrawn, but some things you can still count on, like AM and FM radio, the most reliable ways to reach people where they live with voices they trust across towns, cities, and congressional districts. At iHeart, we connect with more Americans than anyone in audio. Ready to take your message to your current and future voters? Partner with iHeart, and we'll combine radio with our podcasting and digital assets and get working for you. Start today. Call 844-844-iHeart or visit winwithiheart.com.
Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
This September, coming back to Las Vegas, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Tickets go on sale Friday, June 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com.
But starting Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet?
KFI AM 640. An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
Hi, we are rocking here. KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. It is the John Kobylt Show, and we're on from 3 to 6. After 6, we have the podcast, John Kobylt Show on Demand, and you go to YouTube and watch this nonsense live. You can subscribe, become a member at youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. All right, it's 9 minutes after 4 o'clock. And do we have any votes, Deborah?
I just looked. We do not.
We still don't. They said 4 o'clock.
Well, I also heard last night between 4 and 5. Today I heard more definitive 4, but last night it was between 4
and 5. Okay. We have not had a meaningful release of votes now in 33 hours. Since 7 a.m. No, is that right? Yes. Since 7 a.m. yesterday morning. We had a little tiny smattering of votes 24 hours ago, and that was it. And we are also waiting to see if anyone shows up for work at the vote counting center in Los Angeles County. Jamie Paige from the California Post called in a report with us last hour. She went, they took photos, they published it online. You can go to California Post and see it. And it looks like hardly anybody is working today at the vote counting center in LA County. So, and they wonder why. Listen, I'm just going to say this. If you're going to take 3 weeks and somehow Nithya Raman's in front of Spencer Pratt at the end of it, God help you people. All right? I don't think people are going to put up with this crap anymore. You cannot hide the ballots, sit on the ballots for weeks, and then come up with a wildly different result. Whether you're truthful or not, whether you're right or wrong, doesn't matter. People are just not going to believe it anymore. Everybody's had it. All right, let's get now to our guest on the line, Suzette Valladeres, state senator based in Santa Clarita. And 2 things we're going to talk about. One is, let's get Suzette on the line first. Give her a proper hello. Hi, Suzette. How are you?
Hi, John. I'm doing all right. I feel like your listeners probably think I only call in when Sacramento has done something crazy.
Well, if that's true, you would be on with us 3 hours every afternoon.
This is
but
true.
We appreciate your contribution.
Thanks for having me.
First thing I want to talk about here is yesterday, I guess a couple of days ago, the legislature confirmed 5 parole board members that Gavin Newsom reappointed, even though they were responsible for releasing David Allen Funston and Gregory Vogelsang and Roberto de Trinidad. These are all notorious sex criminals, either raping children or raping women. And these are the people who signed off on it. And now Newsom has reappointed them. And tell me the rest of the process here.
Yeah, John, as unfortunately, it was one of those very sad weeks again in Sacramento, and specifically in the state Senate, where our job is to vote on the appointments that the governor gets. And normally a board of parole appointment and even reappointment wouldn't get much attention. But as you mentioned, these 5 commissioners that were being reappointed by the governor this week we're involved in some of the most troubling parole decisions that we've seen in recent memory. And Senate Republicans actually tried to have a full debate on the record. We wanted Californians to hear the facts, and instead, the majority party shut down our discussion and moved forward with the confirmations anyway. I voted no. And it absolutely baffled me that any senator in California would vote to reconfirm these 5 commissioners. And you're right. The governor told when Senate Republicans called for these commissioners to be fired and the parole decision to be overturned, the governor said his hands were tied. Yet he sat here the past 6 months and reappointed these same people. It's absolutely infuriating.
That's Newsom's method. He can control this by appointing commissioners who don't let child rapists out. That's his role in this. But the David Allen Funston case, which we've gone through on the air many times, but he was convicted of raping at least 5 young children under the age of 7. One as young as age 3. And it was kidnapping, beating up, rape. One girl was thrown on the side of the road and left to die. And fortunately, she didn't. But the parole commissioners released Funston. Now, he's been rearrested because there were other old charges against him. But, this was so outrageous. And he even told the commissioners, I still have strong sexual desires for little kids. And his plan to deal with them was to throw cold water in his face and tell himself not to do that. And the commissioners, what is wrong with them? They're as sick as Funston is.
You're absolutely right. And, two points on that, John. One, when Senator Shannon Grove requested to read those transcripts, so that every senator knew who they were reconfirming and what these commissioners decided was safe to release back on our streets. She was denied. There was another senator that objected to her reading the transcript. Now, we talked to the Senate historian who said he hasn't seen an objection to reading anything on the Senate floor in all of his time as a historian, because they knew how horrible these disgusting criminals were that the commissioners they were voting to reaffirm were, and they didn't want Californians to hear it. They didn't want to hear it. What was really amazing, though, is once you know this, John, once you read that transcript, you cannot forget it.
I read the transcript.
She cited it. Yeah, I've read it. I know you've read it. She by memory, because it was burned, unfortunately, into so many of our brains, read it back. And they voted to reconfirm these commissioners anyway. That's not sanity.
No, that's insane. And it's psychotically sick, because these are child rapists. I would think at least little girls would be protected by this crowd in Sacramento. And even little girls are being sacrificed in the most gruesome way. I mean, this really is like some primitive tribal sacrifice from 10,000 years ago.
And then it wasn't just one person. It wasn't just David Allen Funston. It was horrific criminal after criminal. Gregory Volstring. I don't know about, I can't remember his first name right now, but his last name was Trinidad.
Roberto Trinidad.
Raped a woman in her apartment.
Yeah,
Roberto Trinidad.
We've gone through all these stories and we've read all the details. And I read the Funston transcripts live on the air. I mean, it is so overwhelmingly horrific. And these are the sickest people, not only the perpetrators, but the people who could protect the little girls and other little girls. Why would you let Funston out? Why in God's name would you let David Allen Funston out when he's telling you that he still gets aroused by little girls?
And the hypocrisy of our governor to say that he disagreed with David Allen Funston being released, but then you need to watch what people do, not what they say. And he reappointed these commissioners.
I know, he reappointed them.
You can't have it both ways.
Okay. Yeah. The other thing I want to talk with you about when we come back, if you got a few more minutes, you have asked for an audit of the Board of State and Community Corrections, because they were supposed to administer these grant funds from Prop 47. This was the money that was supposed to facilitate reducing crime and get people the help they needed if the public agreed to Prop 47. When we come back, you could explain what it was supposed to do, and you could explain why we have to have this audit. Got all this coming up. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. Federal drug enforcement agents and LAPD officers are conducting another drug operation in MacArthur Park. Election officials in California say vote totals will keep changing in the days and weeks ahead. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour. We're going to the 6:05 next.
Berna, been telling you about them. They want to get you ready for summer. They're offering $100 off the Berna LE Gen 2. Visit Berna.com, B-Y-R-N-A, Berna.com, to get your Berna while supplies last. You might already own a gun, but if you pull the trigger, now you've got all kinds of financial, legal, and emotional issues to deal with. There's a smarter option, Berna. FBI says less than 0.01% of all altercations require a lethal response. That's pretty tiny. Now, a lot of people have a safety plan that includes a gun, but that's only necessary way less than 1% of the time. With Berna, no permits or background checks, the Berna launcher has powerful deterrents like tear gas and kinetic rounds with a 60-foot range. One shot can incapacitate attackers for up to 40 minutes. Berna, B-Y-R-N-A, offering $100 off the Berna LE Gen 2. Visit Berna.com to get yours while supplies last. Berna.com.
From your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Crash on the 605 in Norwalk. Okay, we will check back just a few.
This is Sarah Spain with the latest from iHeart Women's Sports.
Presented by Capital One Bank.
The U.S. Open started today with the world's best golfers descending upon LA's Riviera Country Club for the second major of the season, with a $12 million purse and a major championship title on the line. World number one Nelly Korda will tee off as the favorite, and Michelle Wie West has come out of retirement for one final go at the tournament. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts. As a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network, Capital One is here to help you learn more about today's top athletes. Plus, Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts. Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One, N.A. member FDIC.
This report is sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
America's band, the Beach Boys, celebrate 250 years of the USA. July 4th, fireworks spectacular with the Beach Boys. Live. July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the Hollywood Bowl. With special guest John Stamos. Get tickets now at HollywoodBowl.com. Celebrate 250 years with America's original July 4th fireworks spectacular with the Beach Boys.
LNK's Therapy Thursday is now a podcast. One confession can turn into a full-on phone explosion. Hear the drama, the heartbreak, and the advice everyone's talking about on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. LNK's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
Get premium protein at Whole Foods Market. Save 20% on sustainable wild-caught fresh halibut fillets with Prime through June 9th. Garnish with fresh herbs and a vibrant mango salsa for summer evenings. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Falcon Stadium hosts a historic America 250 celebration on Saturday, June 20th. Experience PBR Space Cowboys, presented by the United States Space Force. Family-friendly fan zones, military tributes, flyovers, parachute landings, and a spectacular drone finale. Enjoy a live concert with Grammy Award winner Tim McGraw and multi-platinum artist Chris Jansen. Tickets on sale now at PBR.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
I am looking at this dish that I'm going to taste right now. It's sexy as hell, for one. It screams rustic, delicious. Yeah. The minute you see it, you say, not only is that beautiful, but I want that in my pie hole right now.
The Fork Report with Neil Saavedra, Saturday afternoon at 2 on KFI. And on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Yacht Rock Radio on iHeartRadio drops anchor and goes commercial-free every weekend. Weekends were made for smooth sailing. Yacht Rock Radio's got the soundtrack. Just sit back, put your feet up, and enjoy. The smoothest soft rock from the 70s and 80s.
You're the biggest part of me.
Open the free iHeart app, search Yacht Rock, and set sail.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
John Kobylt Show, KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. You can follow us on social media at John Kobylt Radio. At John Kobylt Radio. Oh, Moist Line. Today's the last day you can call in. Moist Line's tomorrow, twice in the 5 o'clock hour. You leave your angry incendiary message at 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86. We still don't have any votes in, do we, Deborah?
So nothing right now on the wires, but Daniel Guss sent us something, and I'm just going to read this to you. Okay. Yesterday, Bass held a 5.06% lead over Pratt, and Pratt held a 7.1% lead over Rahman. Well, now Bass is up by 5.71% over Pratt, and Pratt over Rahman by 5.93%. So it's a very small change.
Difference.
So
okay.
We're still waiting, but that's what Daniel Guss has sent to us.
So we don't know how many votes created that percentage.
I keep looking because City News Service sends it out. And I looked at one of these links, and it was for the governor's race, and it had Becerra leading Hilton. So obviously it's wrong. It's wrong. It's nothing new. It had the same. It was the same thing yesterday. So I said, no, it's crazy. All so right. I'm waiting to make sure that I give you accurate information.
That's what we want here.
I know.
Other places.
So you
don't
need
care.
to hold on because
I'm just very anxious.
Okay, I know. I am too.
We're going to continue with State Senator Suzette Valladeres from Santa Clarita, the Republican. We just talked with her about, shockingly, these disgusting parole board members who let out child rapists early and got reappointed by Gavin Newsom. Now, I want to talk about when Prop 47 passed. Remember, Prop 47 was the fiction that said we were going to end up with safer streets and neighborhoods and schools if stealing was no longer a crime, basically, and if public drug use was no longer a crime, and all this was going to save a lot of money, and then the money was going to go into an account and be spent on, well, we'll find out if it was spent on anything useful. Suzette, you want an audit, and there must be a reason you want an audit. Where was the money supposed to go, and what do you think has happened to it?
Yes, I want an audit. I've called for an audit that was actually just passed out of the joint committee on the audit a couple of days ago. I was surprised that it was passed, but we'll take it. So, and to recap, yes, in 2014, when Proposition 47 was passed, voters were promised that the savings from reduced incarceration would be reinvested into programs that reduce crime, that provide drug and mental health treatment, that support victims. So it was really about reducing recidivism. And every year, the Department of Finance is tasked with evaluating how much the state saved from reducing crime. So now, over the last decade, more than $800 million has flowed. Yeah, it's a whole lot of money through the Safe Neighborhoods and School Funds and sent out to the programs across California. And my concern, it was really brought to the attention of my Sheriff San Bernardino, Sheriff Shannon Dykes. And the concern was that a lot of money was being spent and there hasn't been any meaningful, comprehensive audit of whether taxpayers are actually getting the results that they were promised. And that's ultimately why I request the audit, because I want to overlook where the money has gone, how it's being tracked, is there adequate oversight, because I don't believe that there is, and whether the state can really demonstrate that these programs are achieving their intended goals and reducing recidivism. This is about accountability, John. Regardless of how anyone feels about Prop 47, this isn't an audit of Prop 47. It's of the funds that we supposedly have saved as a result of Prop 47.
Was this money supposed to largely go to nonprofits?
But, it is ultimately up to the community board or the Board of Community and Corrections. It's ultimately 85% of the funds go to them. And yes, they do send a lot of the money to nonprofit organizations within the community. But again, we don't have a meaningful audit to see how many of the nonprofits are receiving this money. Are they actually achieving their goals, whether the nonprofit is focused on mental health, on reducing recidivism, the multitude of things that the money can be spent on. We have no idea if any of the dollars are being spent the way that they're supposed to, or if the results by the nonprofits or any entity are actually aligned with the original intent.
My opinion is if it went to nonprofits, most of that money was stolen, but that's just me.
We're going to find out.
Yeah. All right, Suzette, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, John. Talk to you soon.
All right. Suzette Valladeres, the state senator, Republican, based in Santa Clarita. We are going to have Daniel Guss come on right after Deborah's news.
And John, I just got a little bit of election news that just came over the wire.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. So
I sent it to you. Did you get it?
Well, I got one thing that Ray handed me, and while I try to find this, why don't you do the news?
Okay.
And I'll look into what you sent.
Okay.
And then Daniel Guss will come on, and between all of us, you will know everything you could possibly know. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Law enforcement has made more arrests in MacArthur Park as part of an ongoing operation. DEA agents have teamed up with the LAPD to sweep the area looking for people doing illegal drugs. DEA agent in charge, Anthony Chrysanthus, says they will be doing the same in other parts of LA.
Now's your chance. Clean your act up or face the consequences of LAPD, DEA with the power of the United States Attorney, the District Attorney. Everybody's coming together to get this job done.
Today's arrests come about a month after law enforcement agencies arrested 25 people in MacArthur Park. The news is brought to you by Seller's Advantage. President Trump and his supporters are criticizing the lack of firm results from Tuesday night's primary elections. ABC's Alex Stone says state officials are defending the process.
In response to criticism from President Trump and Republican gubernatorial candidate Steve Hilton over those slow election results here, California's Secretary of State says in a statement, accuracy before speed.
California historically can take days or weeks, but often the nation isn't focused on it. A federal judge has denied bail for a man from Newport Coast charged with selling computer equipment to Iran's nuclear program in violation of U.S. sanctions. The guy's a dual citizen of Iran and the U.S. He's accused of obtaining networking equipment for customers in Iran, and that is in violation of sanctions since 2009. And California is the nerdiest state in the nation.
A new study released ahead of this week's Xbox Games Showcase and PC Gaming Show says the state earned a 96.4 out of 100 geek score. The ranking was made by looking at things like the number of comic conventions, the percentage of STEM workers, comic book and gaming stores, and Google searches related to geek culture, including things like Star Wars, Marvel, and Lord of the Rings. California has 86 comic conventions, the most in the nation, along with more than 440 comic book stores. Texas ranked second, Washington third, Colorado and Oregon rounded out the top 5 geekiest states. Amy King, KFI News.
Southland weather from KFI. The June gloom is back tomorrow. Then sunny, high 70s to low 80s, metro LA, 80s to mid 90s in the valleys, the high desert in the IE. Windy again for the high desert in the IE. Low 70s at the beaches, mid to upper 70s inland OC right now. 70 in San Juan Capistrano, 71 in Stanton. Crash on the 118 Mission Hills.
So this wreck has been reported along the eastbound side right at the 5. 3 right lanes blocked at last check with a slow drive overall getting out of Porter Ranch. So heads up here also. We're heading out to Carson. It's a work zone for the 110 southbound off-ramp to Torrance Boulevard. Off limits for this road work. Delays all the way from the 91 freeway. And it's looking tough in Monrovia with this wreck on the 210 eastbound before Huntington Drive. Left lane blocked. That drive is loading up out of Pasadena from about Sierra Madre. A stall in Riverside for the 215 southbound on Martin Luther King Boulevard, blocking 2 middle lanes, delays off of the 10. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Here's a question. How many brokers does it take to insure your business? Well, if you're like most business owners, the answer is too many. Multiple policies, multiple applications, and no clear view on how it all fits together. And when questions come up, it's not easy to get the clarity you need. Super Sure changes all of that. One broker for your business insurance, backed by a team that works with you year-round, not just at renewal. And if you've ever stared at a policy, wondering what it actually covers, Super Sure has a fine print fax tool that translates the legal jargon into plain English. That way you know what's covered and what's not. Right now you can go to supersure.com and get a full report on your current policies with no obligation at all. Find out if you're overinsured, underinsured, or somewhere in between. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
There's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Listen to Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. Summer's heating up, but your wallet, doesn't have to. With American Vision Windows, new windows and doors don't have to cost you a thing until 2028. Book this June and pay nothing for 2 years. Visit AmericanVisionWindows.com or call them at 888-686-8249, 888-686-8249. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. The offer ends June 30th.
In this edition of the Marketer's Report, Monica Tam, head of brand media for DoorDash, talks about audio's connection to daily rituals.
Audio plays a really important role. There's daily rituals that you do. In all of those moments, you're able to instill a message that lingers in their head when they do have to make that decision.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to the audiences, live conversations, and trusted influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST Medical.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
June gloom may keep things cool, but termites never stop. Termite droppings or discarded wings are signs of an active infestation. Call Pacific Coast Termite for a free written inspection. Pacific Coast Termite uses orange oil and Ultraset. No tenting, no move out, and no poisonous gas. Call now and save 10% on termite services. Plus, get a free 2-year warranty. Ask about 90-day same-as-cash financing on approved credit. Call 800-PACIFIC. That's 800-PACIFIC for Pacific Coast Termite. Some restrictions apply.
This is KFI.
The votes are in. The outcome of the race for governor and other statewide races are still very uncertain right now.
The results aren't, but the votes are. Sorta.
There are a lot more ballots outstanding than were initially estimated.
KFI is here to bring you every single vote at the blistering speed of bureaucracy.
Could take several days, even weeks to finish counting.
So the moment we know,
we're on top of it.
You'll know. Could be a day.
Pull up a chair.
Could be a week.
Great system we got.
Could be November 2nd. What are you going to do? This is KFI.
It's not our fault.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. John Kobylt Show and Ron from 3 to 6. After 6, the podcast on the iHeart app, John Kobylt Show on demand. And we're live on YouTube. We're going to get Daniel Guss on because there are some new votes trickling in from the county. And it looks like the race between Rahman and Pratt is tightening a little bit more. Let's get Daniel Guss, and he's an independent journalist who covers LA City and County quite closely. Daniel, what do you know?
Hey, John, thanks so much. So Deborah and I have been emailing along with Ray during your segments, and I'm sending a screenshot today that I just got from the County Registrar website, comparing the figures on it, very basic and questionable. The numbers are questionable only insofar as they're counting very few votes in the past 24 hours. And I'm comparing them to what I saw from the same screen at the County Registrar down in Norwalk from yesterday. So what I'm finding is that, as Deborah said before the break, yesterday, Bass had a 5.06% lead over Spencer Pratt yesterday. And now, as best as I can tell, it is, what did I say here? It is
5.71
higher for Bass. Yeah, 5.71, which is 11,748 more votes that came in since this time yesterday for Karen Bass. Yesterday, Spencer Pratt had a 5.06% lead over Rahman, which is, excuse me, yesterday he had a 7.1% lead over Rahman, and it's now 5.93%. He picked up 6,433 votes from what I see on the county website, and Rahman picked up 10,664. So the lead between Bass and Pratt is essentially steady, but slightly bigger. And the lead of Pratt over Rahman is essentially the same, but slightly closer. So it is tightening, but for the most part, it's still Bass, Pratt, and Rahman. But what I don't get is why have they only counted, they can only account for roughly 38,000 votes for these three candidates. There may be others interspersed in 24 hours, but this is coming directly from the County Registrar office, that lunatic Dean C. Logan. And so I don't understand why the numbers aren't substantially higher.
Did you get a chance to see what Jamie Paige is reporting at the California Post?
Yeah, I saw it because I saw it. I heard it from your segment. Yeah, this enormous warehouse looks like an airplane hangar with row after row of empty workstations and these like bakery racks just stacked, bottom to top with these trays of ballots. And it's more confusing, John and Deborah, because we don't know which ballots are being counted. Are they the ones from the west side? Are they from the valley? Are they from South LA? Are they from outside of the city? Because they process the other county elections also. So yeah, the Jamie Paige story was quite eye-opening, but not surprising.
Well, if they literally don't have the employees on hand there to count the ballots, then the ballots are going to be stacked up, and they are stacked up, like you'd see in like bags of bakery flour. And
right.
What have they been doing since Tuesday night?
Right. And what I also don't understand is they have an enormous roster of volunteers, but it's unclear whether the volunteers or actual county employees, full-time employees, are doing the processing. They have plenty of money, as you and Jamie Paige noted. So why and how? And there was just something creepy about that press conference with Dean Logan the other day, almost as if he's like kind of titillated about the attention. Oh, it's the law. It's not crazy. There's something very weird. Like the guy is almost getting a thrill from the panic he's causing.
It's the law, but you can get it done quickly and efficiently. In Florida, they have a very extensive mail-in ballot operation, and they count all the ballots that night because all the ballots have to be in on election day, whether they're by mail or in person. So everybody has to have the vote in-house by election day, and then they all get counted on election night, and the next morning, the job's already done. So if they do it in Florida, which is a huge state, getting ever bigger, we could do it here. They choose not to, and I don't blame anybody for not trusting the system. I can't defend this.
Right. That literally feeds itself. It's like a malignant tumor of distrust. It's like, okay, why don't you require that all ballots that are going to be counted arriving by 59 on election day, postmarked by election day, and they'll trickle in. It's absolutely wrong. And God help us if we get a governor who wants to put his foot down like Steve Hilton. Let's get that thing. This needs to be the last time, but the stakes have never been bigger now. But there's just that vibe from Dean Logan that's really getting under my skin, like he's enjoying it. Oh, it's the law. Well, F you, it's the law. Fix the damn law. This is not right.
And that's all. Yeah, that's also arrogant, and it's also a cover story. Just because the law mandates a certain process doesn't mean you have to take 3 weeks to execute the process. Because every state has protocol. Every one of them have laws, and everybody else is basically done counting. So that's a load of crap that he's serving out there. Do you get any sense? I know you talk to a lot of people that it is a slow erosion of Pratt's lead. It is slow. That he's in any danger at the end of all this.
You know what? I don't. I don't have a handle as to whether it's erosion or not, because we don't know whose votes are being counted. That's the problem. They should be a checklist. Okay, we have accounted for. This is the problem. They don't tell us anything.
Right. Like if this batch today came from east of Hollywood, right? If you're talking like Silver Lake and Los Feliz, then that's going to be a big ramen boost. But if it's more like the West Valley or the west side of LA, that's going to be a bigger Pratt boost.
Exactly.
South LA is Bass territory.
And the west side.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. It would be. So that's the problem, is that we see these numbers, and I'm loath to call it erosion because we don't know whose votes, and we also don't know how many votes have formally arrived, and is this it? If somebody puts it in the mail, it's going to take less than the helicopters that fly them in from the polling stations on election day. And if they've arrived, John, we don't know if they've been logged in yet. They should all be logged in by tomorrow.
For the city of LA, any mail that was sent out on Tuesday should arrive certainly by tomorrow, right? 3 days?
Right.
Just to go across the city?
That's correct, but we don't know what happens if between when the ballots that are mailed in arriving on the doorstep of the county registrar in Norwalk and how long it takes from their arrival there to be logged in. So we don't know, have 70% been accounted for? How many have been accounted for but not actually tallied? In other words, there's a gap between when they arrive and have they been accounted for, and then from when they've been accounted for to actually being tallied.
Just one more thing, and then we got to do the news. What's also frustrating is you go to the LA Times site or any of these news sites, and on Tuesday into Wednesday, the more votes that came in, I thought the percentage of returns would go up. And the more votes that came in, the percentage of returns kept going down. And I go, I've never seen this before. Like it was going down from 65 to 62. It's like, no, it should be going up. So I don't know what that's about either.
That could be, let's just say that 5,000 people were not registered, but registered on election day. I'm just coming up with a flat random number.
Right.
Let's say 5,000 people weren't registered, but were on election day. That can tinker with it. The problem is the degree of intransparency from Dean C. Logan. This should be the last time if we get a legitimate governor. That's or maybe some normal people at the county. We got to get somebody in there who's going to tell us what's happening at every step, so there isn't.
Well, why can't they do that? Why can't he hold a press conference and say, okay, we just got 50,000 votes and they came from the following precincts, and give us the breakdown for each of the section?
Exactly. I actually think that Logan likes it. I think he likes being the little princess in the spotlight, and it's his moment in the sun, and it's the nerd prom. That's I've seen this many times with other government officials who wait for their day to be in the spotlight. That's my take on it. I could be wrong.
We got a drama queen. Excellent. All right. Daniel, Guss, thank you very much. We'll talk again soon. And just a reminder, we're going to have Jon Fleischman coming on at 5 o'clock, the political analyst, and he's got an interesting angle. The Supreme Court could upend California's mail ballot system, and we might not go through it exactly this way again. We'll tell you about that and get his opinion on what he thinks is going on. What he's written is that he thinks that it's going to stay stable, but there's a lot of people freaking out. Whether they're doing that just to stir up crap online and get clicks, or whether they're onto something, I don't know. But we're going to tell you all about it. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here's the latest. The feds have made arrests in a sweep of MacArthur Park. The LA County Registrar, Recorder, County Clerk is pushing back against criticism of how long it is taking to count votes in California. We'll have more at the top of the hour. Southland weather from KFI, sunny tomorrow. High 70s to mid 90s. This report brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. It is slow on the 5 in Irvine.
We're looking at the northbound side of the 5, and that drive is crowding up, leaving the 133 freeway. Delays continue pretty slow all the way to Harbor and Anaheim. Even the southbound side of the 5, we're seeing delays out of Tustin from the 55 freeway, looking better by Tustin Ranch Road, and a little crowded ahead coming up as you make your way towards Jeffrey Road. We're also heading out to Santa Monica, East 10, jamming up from about 20th Street. Delays across Mid-City all the way to the 5 in Boyle Heights. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
This report is sponsored by iHeartAdvertising.com.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business at iHeartAdvertising.com.
Think back. All those times you questioned everything and wondered why you didn't trust yourself. What if those thoughts could be eliminated? Truth is, those thoughts come from a hidden part of your mind. At a Dianetics seminar, you'll learn and apply powerful techniques to address the hidden source of your stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. It's hands-on, and you'll put the tools to work immediately. In just one weekend, you'll discover exactly how the mind works and increase your happiness and restore trust in yourself. A single weekend can change everything. Register today and take charge of your mental health. Go to Dianetics.org/seminar. That's Dianetics.org/seminar.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
Check out AMCO's multiple financing options so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow.
AA MCO.
Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
Ellen K's Therapy Thursday is now a podcast. Secrets, betrayal, relationship drama, it's all there. Binge the episodes now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Ellen K's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
48 countries.
Only one winner.
iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Live. Every unforgettable moment wherever you are. Lock in your preset now on the free iHeartRadio app.
The world will be listening.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show, turns out crazy glue does not equal condom. That and more wisdom on the 9 news nuggets you need to know. The Gary and Shannon show starts tomorrow at 9.
Since you distracted me, yeah. And why don't you get on camera? Because people were asking for you again.
What happened over there?
Ladies and gentlemen, Deborah Mark. And look at that outfit today, huh? The bright pink sweater, pink and white.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for
talking
coming.
to the mic,
You're
Deborah.
welcome.
Wait, you got to talk into the mic.
Okay. Hello. Hi, guys. I have to go back to the news booth. Yes, I'm a germaphobe, and I was touching things, and so I had to give.
She was touching things.
I did. So I needed Purell, and then I had to get one of these
she was
paper towels.
touching things.
We're touching what?
Huh? I don't know. It's what you said. You think it's contaminated, so. All right. Get back in there because there's something I wanted to tell you. We are going to be talking to Jon Fleischman. This is KFI, AM 640, John Kobylt Show, live on YouTube. You would have just seen Deborah if you'd been paying attention. And we're also on the iHeart app as a podcast after 6 o'clock. And we're live on KFI from 3 to 6. And we're in the middle of trying to figure out why the vote totals are being so slowly counted. And we have another dribble. And I should emphasize what Daniel Guss just said. While the latest batch of votes released did tighten the race up between Pratt and Nithya Raman for second place, it's only slight. And we don't know where the votes came from. There are a lot of people who are hysterical online, and they say, well, if Raman made up this many votes with this drop, then what's going to happen? First of all, you have to know where the votes come from. And it's been like this since forever, once you could electronically track voting online. Because to make my point, the Los Angeles Times, and there's also another online site called Vote Hub. I'll go with the LA Times because that happens to be in front of me right now. And they have a color-coded map, and you could see where the votes are coming in from. What they do is they color code based on what each precinct, they color code based on who carried each precinct. And you will see on the west side, it's different shades of purple and lavender. That signifies that Spencer Pratt is carrying those precincts. And then if you go to the South LA, that is Bass territory, different shades, starting with Mid-City, Mid-Wilshire, down to Baldwin Hills, Crenshaw, Hyde Park, and so on. Now, Rahman is huge in East Hollywood. Not a coincidence that East Hollywood has a lot of homeless encampments. And that's what's funny here. The Bass and Rahman neighborhoods have the most homeless encampments. So why the hell would you vote for those two? I mean, it almost matches perfectly. If you had like a homeless encampment map and overlaid it over this voting map, the people who have fought to have a lot of the encampments taken out of the West Valley or the west side of LA, they're the ones going for Pratt. The people who have the most tents and sprawling encampments are still voting for Rahman and Bass, which brought you the encampments. Boy, that's I could spend a lot of time on that. Now, in your neighborhood up in Woodland Hills, looks like Pratt's carrying most of the neighborhoods up there. So I know you got a lot of friends who are Rahman voters, but they're in the minority.
Oh.
He has a majority of the votes there.
In my hood?
Yes, that's right. Now, in Pacific Palisades, I clicked on that one specifically.
Yes.
Pacific Palisades, 58% voted for Pratt. 15% voted for Rahman. And they don't have a lot of votes registered in the Palisades. Apparently, there weren't that many people available to vote in person. Bass still got 375 votes. And I would like to meet the 375 people in the Palisades who voted for Karen Bass anyway. Because you drive through, first of all, it's still total devastation. There are some house frames that have popped up because you could put up framing pretty quickly. I didn't know this. My wife is an expert at building homes, and she goes, oh, no, you can put up visible framing within a couple of days. And then it takes another year to build everything else on the inside. So it does. There are scattered areas where there are frames popped up, but there's still a lot of devastation. And there are still a lot of Karen Bass resign signs, no Karen Bass. So Pratt got 58% of the vote, Bass 15%. And then Adam Miller, he's from the West Side. He's that entrepreneur. He had a bit of a following, got 13%. Now, in my section of town, these are all left-wing sections, okay? So you have a lot of, I'd call them normal liberal Democrats who got the religion after Mike Bonin ruined the place about 5-6 years ago with, he carpeted the area with homeless encampments. A lot of the progressives became a lot less progressive, and now they're just moderately liberal. And 55% in my district voted for Pratt, and almost 50% in the district next door. In all three cases, he's got the most votes. So his strength is on the West Side. He's big in Encino, big in Tarzana. Woodland Hills still on top, a little less so. Pratt's beating Bass in Woodland Hills 42-34 on the east side. On the west side, he's winning 40-30. So it's a little more mixed there. It's more dominant on the west side. So not all your neighbors are crazy.
Look, it wasn't just my neighbors. My friends, people that I know, don't live in Woodland Hills.
You know, it'd be fun.
What?
Bring all your friends in here, and we could have an on-air discussion of Deborah's Rahman-loving friends and Bass-loving friends.
Most of my friends, I'm going to be honest, and this has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Most of my friends would never listen to you.
If they came in here, there'd be a lot of vegetables.
Some are appalled.
Some
that
are
I
appalled
work
by
with
me.
you.
Really?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
What do they ask? Like, how could you?
Does John really believe what he says?
Well, yeah.
What else?
I'm telling the truth. I'm making sense. Of course I believe.
And look, here's the deal.
Yeah.
I'm not obviously going to say what my politics are because it's not appropriate. I'm a news person.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care. You can like Trump. You can like Biden. You can like Kamala Harris. You can like Pratt. You can like whatever. I let people decide, and that's that. And I try not to get involved in all of that.
You just don't want homeless people walking past your house.
Exactly. And I've been very clear about that. And I don't want drugs. I'm glad MacArthur Park is
getting cleaned
up today. Yeah. And no, I don't want homeless.
That's not a political opinion.
And I don't like the gas tax.
That shouldn't be a political opinion either.
Or the high sales tax.
Yes.
Anyway.
Deborah's her own anti-tax organization. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk to Jon Fleischman. Thank you. Jon Fleischman. His website is sodoesitmatter.com. And he's a political analyst. And we're going to talk about what's going on in the moment. And also, he wrote a piece today on how changes with the Supreme Court and the Postal Service could completely upend the California's mail-in ballot system. We'll see what all this is about. Deborah Mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nothing. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah, please don't.
Live.
I get myself in enough trouble.
I know. I like to let you talk sometimes. Just see. Live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Drug bust. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The feds have made 13 arrests in a sweep of MacArthur Park in the third phase of an operation to crack down on drug dealing and other criminal activity. LAPD officers and U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration agents moved through the Westlake District Park this afternoon. LA County DA Nathan Hochman says for too long, the park has been known as a cemetery because of the high number of drug overdoses.
And we collectively refuse to allow MacArthur Park to be a cemetery anymore. We are going to restore it day in and day out.
Hochman says he's so confident the park will be cleaned up, he plans to take his family there for a picnic on Labor Day and has invited city and county officials to join them. The news is brought to you by Sellers Advantage. LA City Councilwoman Nithya Raman is gaining more ground on former reality TV personality Spencer Pratt in the race to join LA Mayor Bass in the runoff in November. An updated vote tally that was released this afternoon, just a while ago, shows Pratt with 29.35% of the vote compared to 23.42% for Raman, with Pratt holding a lead of 33,076 votes. Yesterday afternoon, Pratt had a 40,301 vote lead over Raman. LA County Registrar Recorder County Clerk Dean Logan is pushing back against all the criticism of just how long it's taking to count the votes in California. He says claims that California's system is too slow are misleading.
I want to emphasize it's not stupid. It's not crazy. It's actually the law in California. California's laws allow voters the opportunity to vote up until 8 o'clock on election night.
He says his office's job is to make sure all ballots are treated securely. A legislative committee is going to audit how money from Proposition 47 is being used.
In 2014, Prop 47 bumped some nonviolent offenses from felonies to misdemeanors to cut down on prison overcrowding, especially for nonviolent offenses, and used the savings for programs meant to reduce crime and recidivism. Republican State Senator Suzette Valladeres, who requested the audit, claims no one can prove that's working. Now, the state auditor will review how hundreds of millions of grant money is spent and if it's making California's communities safer or not. In 2024, Prop 36 toughened some of those penalties back up in what Valladeres called a sweeping rebuke of 47. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
LA is being sued over a palm tree that fell on a father and son.
17-year-old Richard Victor Romero and his father Mario say they were visiting a friend recently when a city-owned palm tree apparently collapsed and fell on them. Their attorneys say doctors say Richard may never walk again. They're suing LA, saying the city's failure to properly maintain and inspect the city-owned tree led to catastrophic injuries that forever changed the lives of Mario and Richard. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
Southline weather from KFI, cloudy again tomorrow, otherwise known as June gloom, then sunny, high 70s to low 80s, metro LA, 80s to mid 90s in the valleys, the high desert in the IE, and windy again in the high desert in the IE, low 70s for the beaches, mid to upper 70s inland OC. Right now, it is 69 in Dana Point, 73 in Anaheim, 77 in Diamond Bar. The KFI Financial Update brought to you by SuperSure. SuperSure.com, one super agency, one powerful platform, all your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed up 875, S&P 500 up 31, NASDAQ down 23. We're going to go back to the 118 in Mission Hills.
There's been a slight change to what's going on here on the 118, making your way eastbound at the 5. Yeah, that's just past the 5. That's where an earlier crash involving 4 cars, now the 4 left lanes have been blocked. Immediate delays are backing up from, or get all the way out of Porter Ranch. So it's pretty tough through that stretch. Now, the Drive's also a mess on the 5 as a result. This is northbound out of Burbank. That's slowing down, getting away from Buena Vista. You're on the brakes all the way to the 118 and beyond towards the 14 freeway. Let's also check out a couple of other problems like this in Monrovia. 210 eastbound before Huntington Drive. A crash, carpool, left lane blocked. They're going to be off limits for a while because of this motorcycle wreck. You've got big delays out of Pasadena getting away from San Gabriel or make that Sierra Madre and into South LA. A wreck on the 110 northbound just past Manchester, taking out 3 middle lanes, slowing you down from El Segundo Boulevard. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-506-9295. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-506-9295. That's 800-506-9295. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
This September, coming back to Las Vegas, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Tickets go on sale Friday, June 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com.
But starting Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern,
Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet?
KFI AM 640. An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. John Kobylt Show. We're on from 3 to 6. After 6 o'clock, the podcast, John Kobylt Show, on demand on the iHeart app. And we're on YouTube live right now, so you should be watching. You can subscribe or become a member by going to youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show, and you could watch and you could participate in the chat, the live chat that we have on screen. Let's now go to Jon Fleischman. There was a small trickle of ballots released about an hour ago in LA County, covering the LA mayor's race in the city, and things tightened a little bit between Pratt and Rahman. Bass moved out a little farther ahead. Nothing overwhelming here, and it was a small number of votes to begin with. And we've been talking about just what's behind this incredibly slow process. We opened with Jamie Paige, and I'll run through that again for those of you just joining us. Jamie Paige from the California Post had a phone-in report with us, and she's got a piece that they are running on the front page of the Post with photos that it seems that there's hardly anybody working at the massive election ballot counting warehouse. Just endless rows of empty desks and stacks of packaged votes piled up on these pallets. So we'll get to that coming up in a few minutes. But first, let's go to Jon Fleischman. SoDoesItMatter.com is his excellent political commentary site, and he puts out a lot of videos, all kinds of writings. And John, welcome again to the show. How are you?
I'm fine, but every time I come on your show, it's Dysfunction Junction number 555. And now we have it going on. We saw this coming because we here in John Kobylt land all know that the same dysfunction rears itself every election, but it's particularly bad now. And what I don't understand is why you wouldn't, given that there's over 1,000 employees of the Registrar of Voters, why wouldn't you say, you know what, we need to get all these people out of here. So let's go ahead and count all these ballots and just get it done. And let's work 24/7. Don't have to pay overtime. We'll do shifts. and just keep counting until the counting is done. And how embarrassing to have just a random reporter from the California Post wandering through there. And I mean, the videos are just epic. It's like a ghost town in entire sections of there with ballots stacked higher than human beings.
When I first saw the story today, I thought, well, the GPS must have sent her to the wrong place. That it can't possibly be true. I just flat out didn't believe it. But it is true. There's really nobody working there today.
Yeah. So I will tell you this. This may be the only good news out of all of this, is that I truly believe that the unions in the city would like to see Bass and Pratt in the runoff. So this may be the only instance that I can think of that if there's cheating, it might be on our side. Because it's the
why would they want that? Most people wouldn't make that connection. Why do you think the unions would want a Bass Pratt runoff?
Oh, I think they simply step back and they say Pratt is a Republican. There's only about 1/5 of the voters in the city that are Republican. And so, we could just go into the November election saying it's Bass versus Trump, and just kind of do what they did in Prop 50 over and over again, which may work, by the way. We're hoping that it doesn't, because as we've seen, Spencer Pratt has tapped something in the city of Los Angeles. I know you've covered it on your show, but that quote-unquote victory speech that Karen Bass gave the night before last really sounded almost like a concession speech. She was so not excited, I think, because she just had a vote of no confidence from about 2/3 of Angelenos that cast ballots.
Yeah, well, let me ask you about that, because 65% of Angelenos didn't vote for her. 65% in the polling don't like the job she's done. 65% don't like her personally. Nobody's ever come back from that. And I understand that she's a Democrat in a Democrat city, but there's got to be a limit, don't you think?
Well, so maybe you're yes, but I mean, so maybe we should put the shoe on the other foot. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Rahman caught up and she went into the runoff with Karen Bass. What do all the Spencer Pratt people do when their choice is between like battery acid and rat poison? And it's a good question. I think a lot of those Pratt people stay home.
Yeah.
Because they're like, both of these people are failed politicians that want to increase the size and scope of government without actually fixing anything. And so
with Bass supporters, is it just unions who are enjoying the big payoff that she gives them? They live in the city too. In fact, I was looking at the
go ahead.
No, I was looking at the LA Times map, and the places with the worst homelessness and the worst crime is where you find the most votes for Bass and Rahman. The places that have successfully cleaned up a lot of the homelessness and have low crime rates, they're voting for Pratt. And I'm thinking, why isn't Pratt popular in the places where life is worse?
You know what? Maybe you'll have to go take the John show on the Skid Row and start asking people why, it's lame. Why would you continue to lock yourself in with this situation? And I keep thinking at the end of the day, it's this big, vast paid network of non-governmental organizations, the millions of dollars in the homeless industrial complex. And so all these people go out there and hey, here's your $1,800 for the month, but we need you to vote for Karen Bass. Right? It's just the corruption is, there's so much money flowing into her organization, her people. It's corrupt as all get out, because of course the people that aren't getting the funding are the ones that actually need it. Right. So I did want to flag for you. I think Ray said you brought it up last hour, but there is a United States Supreme Court ruling that is going to be coming out in the coming weeks that if it passes will fundamentally change this issue that we're dealing with, because the law actually says that there's an election day for federal office. And so the Republican National Committee filed a lawsuit saying, well, day is not months, day is day. And so there should not be ballots that could be received after election day. And it sounded like the Supreme Court justices, when they were asking, you can always kind of figure out what they might be saying when you hear their questions.
Yeah.
When they ask questions of right. And it really sounds like they kind of agree that if Congress wants there to be an election month, they'd need to change the law, which says election day. So if that's how the court rules, that means in November, that it would mean that all of the ballots in California would have to be received by election day. rather than postmarked by Election Day, which would alleviate a lot of this headache and problem. But of course, as we've talked about, the other thing that might alleviate it would be if these damn government workers would, work and be in the office and counting the ballots and actually getting this done. And you just, at the end of the day, it just creates a situation where people like you and me and Ray are just wondering, are they waiting long enough to figure out when they can put the shoe boxes of more ballots?
I understand
into the process.
Yeah, I understand why everybody's so suspicious. Why wouldn't you be suspicious?
Well, of course, and I don't put it past the registrar of voters in L.A., Dean Logan. His job before he came to Los Angeles, and we covered this back in the day, John. But he came from Washington State, where he was suspiciously involved with some very off balance post-election counting in King County, which cost the governor's race for Republicans in Washington State. So this registrar has a reputation of controversy and being involved in situations where late balloting doesn't mirror the election day balloting. And so that shouldn't make us feel very good either.
All right, let me ask you one more thing before I got to go to Deborah. So after the votes that came out today, Pratt's lead is about 6% instead of 7%. Do you think he's in any danger of getting squeezed out by Rahman?
Sure, there's always danger. I'm going to say 85% he's fine and 15% he's not. And it's just just imagine that there's a cup and there's water dripping into the cup. And the question is, does the water run out before the cup overflows? And it just depends how many more of these ballots are to count. You said it was a pretty small batch today. So for her to gain 3,000 votes on him with a small batch is not a particularly good sign. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. We know that the Democrats were holding their ballots until late because there's nothing exciting about the Xavier Becerra, right? So he didn't excite anybody to return their ballots in a hurry. So we just got to wait and see. I think the odds are strongly with Spencer Pratt, but I wouldn't be on the internet betting on it. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
All right, Jon Fleischman, SoDoesItMatter.com is the name of his website. A lot of great political commentary and videos. SoDoesItMatter.com. Thank you for having the time to come on again with us.
Oh, you got it. Thanks for everything you do, guys.
All right. Jon Fleischman. Let's go to Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. President Trump claims Democrats are intentionally holding up the vote and trying to steal the California primary election. The LAPD may have had its own law enforcement gang. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour, going to the 210 next.
Life can really change in an instant. One accident and suddenly you're dealing with pain, confusion, and a lot of uncertainty about what happens next. And that's where Sweet James comes in. They understand the physical, emotional, and financial toll an accident can take. This is what they deal with every day. You call Sweet James, and you're putting a team in your corner that handles the legal fight so you can focus on getting your life back together. They can't guarantee or predict the outcome of any case. But if you've been hurt in a car, trucking, or motorcycle accident, this is not something you should handle alone. Get Sweet James by your side. For free consultation, you call 800-9-MILLION, 800-9-MILLION. They have offices throughout California, including Los Angeles. Again, for a free consultation, it's 800-9-MILLION, 800-9-MILLION, 800-9-000-000, or go to sweetjames.com.
From the Odoo.com Weather Center, Odoo, the only business software you need. It's going to be sunny again tomorrow with highs ranging from the 70s to the mid-90s. This report brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy, slow on the 210 in La Cañada.
We're starting on the westbound side, and that's where the drive crowds up, leaving Angeles Crest Highway. You're on the brakes and stretches all the way to Hubbard Street. The drive on the east 210, slowing in Pasadena, almost from Mountain, but you remain on the brakes. It's pretty heavy all the way towards Foothill Boulevard. Also slows ahead through Upland towards the 15. Also very tough right now through Riverside. You got a crash on the 215 northbound just before the 60 West connector. Motorcycle got into it with a car. 2 right lanes blocked. Delays away from Eucalyptus. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
This report is sponsored by Recreation Alliance.
PCH is open. Take the 101 freeway to Canaan Road. Malibu is open for business. Enjoy a scenic drive through the mountains and return to the beautiful beach. A beach day is always a better day. It's open and waiting for you.
Sponsored by Recreation Alliance.
LNK's Therapy Thursday is now a podcast. Love, lies, family fights. It's all waiting for you now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. LNK's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
Summer is heating up, but your wallet doesn't have to.
New windows and doors don't have to cost you a thing until 2028. Book this June and pay nothing for 2 years with American Vision Windows.
They've installed over 1 million windows across California and get most jobs done in one day. Hurry, offer ends June 30th.
Visit AmericanVisionWindows.com or call 888-785-5713. That's 888-785-5713.
New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Callers see the website for details. Offer ends June 30th, 2026.
Don't miss the July 4th Fireworks Spectacular with the Beach Boys, July 2nd through July 4th at the Hollywood Bowl with special guest John Stamos. The band celebrates 60 years of iconic music with the Hollywood Bowl Orchestra. For tickets, visit HollywoodBowl.com.
With iHeart, everything you hear is guaranteed human. That's why 78% of listeners trust their favorite radio host's product recommendations. If you manage a business or need to drive sales, that trust goes a long way. Call 844-844-iHeart. Again, that's 844-844-iHeart.
Gary and Shannon.
If you got caught with a sex tape and you had to call your mom to apologize,
Go on.
would you then have her field your media calls for you?
There was conjecture this video was leaked on purpose by my son.
Tomorrow, 9 to noon on KFI AM 640.
I don't think so.
Mom, can you
And
take
I would
CNN
just say-
and Fox News today? I'm busy with The Athletic.
I would say, hey, Mom, if somebody calls and wants you to do an interview,
More stimulating talk.
just say no.
I'm Michelle McPhee, and in my new podcast, Kingdom of Fraud, I'm unraveling the strangest criminal alliance I've ever reported on. A polygamist from Utah and an LA Armenian businessman.
$1 billion fraud.
But how long can this alliance last?
Is somebody coming after me?
Search Kingdom of Fraud on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network, and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Can't find AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We are on every day from 3 to 6. After 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand. Moist Line, this is the last call for the Moist Line for Friday. I bet you're really upset, huh? 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86. You could let it out, let it rip. Leave us a message. We'll play the best, 520 and 550. That's tomorrow. You can also use the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. And I'm sad to report that Mrs. Potato Head seems to have only gotten 5% of the vote, according to the... And Villaraigosa looks like he's topping out at about 1%. So after his appearance on the show,
You did something, John.
we really torpedoed him.
You did. He's never going to talk to you again.
Oh my God, he went right off the cliff. So
Where are the women at, guys?
Villaraigosa at 1% and Katie Porter at 5%. Well,
We cleaned your toilets.
I am surprised he didn't do better because we had our major run-ins with him, but in retrospect now, I think a lot of people would go back to the Villaraigosa days over this Karen Bass Garcetti disaster that we've lived with for the last 11 years. Is it 11? No, it's longer than that. It's 12, 13 years. Yeah, because he had 9.5 years and now she's had 3.5. So it's 13 years of horrific governance. And then Katie Porter, I mean, I couldn't believe she was running for anything. She is such a Looney Tune cartoon character, whack job. And it's like, I wanted her to win in a way because that would be great fun. She get in arguments with reporters and she starts throwing vegetables at people at press conferences.
Her whiteboard.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been exciting. By the way, there's a microscopic amount of state ballots that have come in around California, and Hilton is still ahead of Becerra by about a point or so. And Steyer is still 7 points behind Hilton. That hasn't moved much. The whole state is not counting the ballots. It's not just LA County. We've been talking a lot because of the mayor's race is a priority here. But across the state, everything is stalled out. And this is not going on anywhere else in the country, ever. They never have this anywhere else in the country. They don't have this, I don't think, anywhere else in the world. And the damning story of the day is Jamie Paige. She came on with us early from the California Post. And it's not just the story, it's the photos. Photos of this massive warehouse where it's 144,000 square feet. This is where they're counting the ballots. And there are massive stacks of ballots that are in the photo. And rows and rows, endless rows of workstations, computers, no employees. Jamie was on with us earlier, reporting live from the parking lot. And she asked where some of the employees who were wandering around. They said, "Well, maybe they're at lunch." It's like, no, they're not at lunch. They're not there. They don't exist. Maybe
they're working from home.
Yeah, how do you count ballots working from home?
I don't know.
Because I see the stacks of ballots. They're on these wooden pallets, and they're all packaged up. In fact, I'm looking closer. It's like United States Post Office boxes filled with the ballots, and they look like they have some kind of wrapping on them. And I guess they got wrapped and delivered from the post office to this processing center, and they're just sitting there, and there's no employees. They have $336 million. They have 1,100 employees, and nobody's shown up for work. In fact, there's one random photo that shows a few employees, but they're standing around talking. They're
on their break.
Don't you hate when you go to like a grocery store or a drugstore
or the post office?
Or the post office, and you're stuck in a long, slow line, and all you hear the employees say, "Is my break time yet? Are you on break? I want to be on break. When's your break?" Oh, that's all they do. They shout to each other about their break times. Or it's the fat assistant manager waddling around going, "Oh, you can take your break now. Did you take your break? You guys are all on permanent break." And I swear at these cashiers, they're all stoned. And the younger they are, the more likely they're stoned. Yes, they absolutely are. They're on your brand of gummies, I think. There's a guy named Nico Rutterman who years ago we had on the show. He's a member of the neighborhood council in Venice, and he ran for state senate one year. I think in my district, and he told the California Post, the system that has been put in place with mail-in ballots and the amount of time it takes to count them gives people room to question our elections, and rightfully so. All eyes are on our elections, especially with a close election. Ours is taking forever because of incompetency and a poorly designed system. This is unnecessarily long. It's a design flaw. It's not long because it needs to be. It's long because how the system was designed. Now, here's the question. Why was it designed to take a long time? And why, apparently, are the employees not even showing up for work? Because the official line from Dean Logan, who's the vegetable running the vote counting system, and the explanations from the media is like, well, this is the law, this is the system, and it's meant to take this long. We're looking for accuracy, not speed. You can have accuracy and speed. Ron DeSantis does it, and so do the other 49 states. But I pick him because Florida is really big. They have a lot of mail-in ballots. It's a big state geographically. It's a big state when it comes to population. And they have an extremely efficient system. And by election night, most everything's done. So this system is really awful. And is all of this stuff about it being the law, is that just a cover story? Why do you allow hundreds of thousands of dead people to remain on the rolls? Why do you allow hundreds of thousands of people, maybe millions of people who've moved away to stay on the rolls? Why do you have hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people who haven't voted in years and you don't know if they're dead or you don't know if they've moved? But they're not voting, and normally those people in other states are removed from the rolls. That's three huge categories that does add up to millions of votes. And those ballots do go out. Everybody in the state gets a ballot. So all the dead people and all the moved out people and all the inert people who aren't voting, they all got ballots. Well, they didn't if they're dead. Somebody did. They show up at everybody's home, all the former residents. Why would that be? And then the vote counting system is slow, and then they get all righteous and indignant when I say, I don't know if I trust this. Got more coming up. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
President Trump claims Democrats are intentionally holding up the vote and trying to steal the California primary election. ABC's Alex Jones says the claims are unsubstantiated.
Republicans are currently among the top vote getters in results coming in here. President Trump is also claiming the U.S. attorney is investigating the vote, which the U.S. attorney's office in L.A. is not confirming.
California is typically pretty slow at counting votes, mainly because every registered voter is mailed a ballot, and ballots can take a week to get mailed in and 13 days for all the votes to be counted and verified. Orange County Healthcare Agency officials had planned to start removing chemicals from two tanks next to the one that was damaged in Garden Grove today or tomorrow, but a delay in delivery of sealed trucks needed for the job has delayed things. Garden Grove Mayor Stephanie Klopfenstein says council is discussing efforts to clean the damaged chemical storage tank at the GKN Aerospace facility.
We'll be in our chambers this evening, and we'll be explaining what is taking place now and the steps moving forward.
The plans include pumping out the methacrylic from two storage tanks and into the sealed trucks, which will take the chemicals away and dispose of them. The LAPD may have had its own law enforcement gang.
An LAPD internal affairs report says the specialized police unit in the San Fernando Valley operated like a law enforcement gang and had a rampant culture of misconduct. The report says in 2023, the officers were accused of making dozens of improper traffic stops and tried to hide their actions from their superiors by turning off their body cameras.
KFI's Daniel Martindale says members of the gang enforcement detail told investigators they were in a gun hunting competition, and the officer who sees the most guns would pose for pictures with a championship belt. The internet now has more bots than people.
Internet security and service provider Cloudflare says it wasn't expecting what it calls agentic traffic to eclipse real people until next year. This new surge of internet traffic is not from traditional bots most people are kind of familiar with. These bots browse the internet just like humans, but they're hitting websites and doing searches on behalf of humans. Cloudflare says around 42% of internet traffic is made up of humans, and it is shrinking fast. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
And NASA's new spacesuits are getting fancy.
The astronauts will be wearing test flight suits and lunar mobility units designed by Axiom Space and high-end fashion house Prada. The space agency says the suits will maximize mobility and fit, offer thermal protection, and have built-in high-definition cameras, all at a cost of over $228 million for the development and testing of the lunar spacesuits. Bree Tennis, KFI News.
Back to the 101 next.
Let me tell you something. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, well, that's the finish line, they think. Handshake, commission, you pay the commission, and they're done. And then you may not hear from them until it's time to renew next year. But your business runs every day, all year, and so do the gaps and the risk. So I'm telling you about SuperSure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just buy a policy online. SuperSure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like Fine Print Facts, which translates your current policy into plain English, so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus, a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth, so you know exactly what needs protecting. Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, and all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Southland weather from KFI. Cloudy again in the morning. Then it will be sunny. High 70s to low 80s. Metro LA. 80s to mid 90s in the valleys, the high desert, and the IE. Windy again in the high desert in the IE. Low 70s for the beaches. Mid to upper 70s inland OC. Right now, 74 in Laguna Woods and 76 in Rancho Santa Margarita. Back to the 101 in Calabasas.
So there's a crash reported along that southbound side coming up at Valley Circle. Left lane blocked with a backup away from Las Virgenes. Staying on the South 101 in Encino, coming up on White Oak. A stalled car is being cleared out of the left lane, and that's adding to a heavy and slow drive all the way out of Calabasas. Beyond the stall, you still have some slowing through Sherman Oaks from the 405 to the 170, 134 split, and ahead in Hollywood from Sunset into downtown Los Angeles. Norwalk is crawling along 605 northbound, leaving the 105 freeway. Delays continue all the way to the 10, and it's tough in Corona, that southbound side of the 15. Delays from Magnolia Avenue all the way towards Temescal Canyon Road. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
The LAUSD Division of Adult and Career Education offers over 100 free career training courses in high-demand fields. We also offer in-person and online classes in citizenship, English as a second language, and high school diploma. Your future begins with adult education. Visit adulted.lausd.org or call 213-241-3150. See you in school.
Commercial contractors. It takes a well-managed crew of professionals to keep a company running smoothly, and that takes time. ServiceTitan, the end-to-end business management platform for the trades, provides the tools to manage your crew in the field. With automated scheduling, time tracking, progress updates, and more, your teams stay on track, on budget, and aligned from start to finish. Learn how ServiceTitan is taking your teams to new levels of efficiency. Visit ServiceTitan.com to request a demo. That's ServiceTitan.com.
After an accident, one question comes to mind. What happens next? Wilshire Law Firm brings clarity when things feel uncertain. While you focus on healing, we fight for the compensation you deserve. That's what happens next. Call now. 1-800-ABCDEFG. Wilshire Law Firm is in LA.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
There's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Listen to Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com. Getting you back to your life pursuit. Hoag Orthopedic Institute. Call 1-800-919-2000.
Termites active? Call Pacific Coast Termite. No tenting, plus 10% off. Call 1-800-PACIFIC.
This is KFI. The votes are in.
The outcome of the race for governor and other statewide races are still very uncertain right now.
The results aren't, but the votes are. Sorta.
There are a lot more ballots outstanding than were initially estimated.
KFI is here to bring you every single vote at the blistering speed of bureaucracy.
Could take several days, even weeks to finish counting.
So the moment we know,
we're on top of it.
You'll know. Could be a day.
Pull up a chair.
Could be a week.
Great system we got.
Could be November 2nd. What are you going to do? This is KFI.
It's not our fault.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We are on from 3 to 6, after 6 on the podcast. You want to listen to what we've been doing today. John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. In fact, first hour, first segment, we had Jamie Paige on from the California Post standing in the parking lot at the election ballot processing center somewhere in LA County, and she was reporting on how empty it is. Interesting thing she also said, and you'll hear it in the interview, is she said the LA Times had a camera on it because the reporters can only stay in the bullpen area. They can't go out on the floor. Not that there's anyone to talk to, but the LA Times never told anybody. They didn't say, nobody's showing up for work here. Looks like the big vote counting warehouse is largely empty. How come the LA Times didn't tell us and the California Post did? I was talking to my friend ChatGPT.
You're still friends?
I don't ask him personal questions anymore, as you know. Okay. But I talk about, ask him about issues that.
How do you know it's a him?
Well, actually, I think he's non-binary.
Okay.
All right, but I understand his preferred pronoun is he, him.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll refer to him that way. So my non-binary ChatGPT friend, I asked him, how long does it take to count ballots in countries around the world? In the United Kingdom, they do it overnight. It takes 6 to 10 hours. Now, they got a lot of people there. I think they have 80 million people. Because everybody said, well, LA County has a big population. The whole United Kingdom gets it done in 6 to 10 hours. Canada, same night or by next morning. France, same night. Germany, same night. I think that's over 80 million people in Germany. Sweden, they have a preliminary result on election night, and then several days later, they make it official. In Japan, they have a lot of people in Japan. Japan is the same night. They have an extremely fast counting culture and highly organized local administration. Maybe we could hire some Japanese government workers and some Japanese officials. How about we do an exchange program? We send them all the lazy slugs, and we'll send them Dean Logan and send them somewhere nice to Japan. Taxpayer-paid junket. They can sit there for 2 weeks, and let's use the Japanese government's vote counting staff. How do the Japanese do it how do the Germans do it so fast, huh? What do we got here? South Korea, within hours. Why? Highly centralized and technology-assisted counting. I wanted to discuss that for a minute. This has become a cliche. But we do have a gigantic tech industry here that has completely, radically changed our society over the last 30 years. And you know how it's been done, and you know how many different ways it's been done, and we still can't count ballots? This is our system. BS. They want it this way. They want it this way. They designed it this way. I don't believe any other stories or excuses or explanations, and I think I know why they want it this way. Oh, please. Just tell us that Pratt is getting beaten out at the last second by Rahman. India. What do they got in India? 1 billion people? More than 1 billion people. 1 billion people. In India, it usually takes them a day. Why? They have electronic voting machines that speed tabulation despite a huge population. And Brazil, another huge country. A few hours it takes them. Nationwide electronic voting. Mexico, not the most organized country you'll ever visit. Same night for trends, takes days for the official count. But they have preliminary quick counts released quickly. Australia, most seats clear overnight. A full count takes days or weeks. You must have had some California transplants. Israel takes anywhere from overnight to 1 to 2 days. Israel, another extremely efficient operation. Germany, Japan, Israel. That's what we need. We need a United Nations team of Germans, the Japanese, and Jews, and import them here and put them in charge.
I'll ask my cousin.
See if you can, just a couple of guys. And the war's winding down a bit. Maybe they got some time. And they have all kinds of systems. And in Florida, they have big mail-in ballots. But here's the key. The mail-in ballots have to arrive by Election Day, period. End of story. But we're doing this to increase access. You don't need to increase access that badly or that much. Plan ahead. I told you. 2030, the next governor's election, November 5th, 2030. Plan ahead so you could take 10 minutes and vote in person. Or if we still have the mail-in ballots, you will have, I'm giving you now 4.5 years to find 10 or 15 minutes at the kitchen table to vote during the month of October of 2030. I see no reason why everybody's got to vote at the last minute and then we've got to wait 7 days for the mail to come in. Just tell them we have just tell them there's a deadline. Everything's got a deadline. You go through like what, 13 to 17 years worth of school with nothing but deadlines for tests and quizzes and papers and essays, right? So we're all trained for deadlines. That's actually one of the real purposes of school, to train you to meet deadlines, to get your work done on time. And then any kind of office work has deadlines. You got to be on time, and you got to get your work done at a certain point. I don't understand. With voting, it's like, oh, I don't know, it's kind of hard for it. No, it is not hard for people. Stop it. There's got to. How could people not think that it isn't about the corruption? That it isn't about the... How could we possibly, a reasonable person, not think, at least in the back of their mind, little queasiness in the stomach? It's like, wow, all those other countries and all those other states get nearly all of their voting counted that night by the next morning. They all do. Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, everybody does. All the other 49 states, big states, New York, New Jersey, Florida for population, big states in terms of size, Texas. Oh, everybody gets it done. Democratic states, Republican states, liberal, conservative governments, everybody. Everybody around the world does it. And then we're sitting going, well, you know, we like to get it accurate. I want to do it too fast because it won't be accurate. You know, we're trying to extend that. You're full of it. I don't believe you. Nobody believes you anymore. Why would you believe them? God, how much curse? How stupid is everybody? I'm looking at one map where the people who vote for Bass and Rahman the most have the most homeless and the most crime. And then I'm looking at people accepting this voting situation where I can't find another state or country on the whole planet it is this slow. And everybody in the media seems to accept it. It's like, well, that's the way it is. They say that's the law and that's the process we designed, and it gives you... What is wrong with everybody? God, it's like the whole country was poisoned with a stupid bill. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. Federal drug enforcement agents and LAPD officers have conducted another drug operation in MacArthur Park, and the World Health Organization says it's making progress against the Ebola outbreak in Central Africa. We'll have more at the top of the hour. Southland weather from KFI, sunny tomorrow, high 70s to mid 90s. This report brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. We have a crash on the 101 in Sherman Oaks that's messing with my drive home, Angel.
Okay, people, come on.
Yeah, right?
Let's get this. That's right. Let's get this crash out of the roadway and clear that 101 northbound. Now, the wreck itself is in Sherman Oaks, and it's northbound at Van Nuys Boulevard. And right on time, they must have heard you.
Woo!
It's cleared.
Oh,
all lanes are open. Yeah, it's still kind of tough away from Coldwater Canyon. And then beyond that, North 101 will remain kind of busy as you continue all the way to White Oak in Encino. So it opens up after that. The southbound side's kind of tough. Earlier crash in Calabasas has been cleared out of lanes, but the delays are loading up from Lost Hills. You're on the breaks and stretches to the 170-134 split with Southern California's most accurate traffic reports. I'm Angel Martinez.
Are you avoiding shorts or dresses because of your varicose veins? You find yourself covering up, feeling self-conscious about how your legs look? Don't wait another minute. West Medical can treat varicose veins in under an hour with no downtime. That's right. One simple call and a quick procedure can help you feel confident again. Most treatments are affordable and covered by PPO insurance. Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL today. That's 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL or go to westmedical.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This report is sponsored by America 250.
This July 4th, celebrate at America's Block Party, a can't-miss concert at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Hosted by America 250, see music performances from major artists, patriotic tributes, and kick off Giving Forth to make it the largest day of giving. Learn more at america250.org.
I took Mom to catch a ball game. Is it time to pick her up yet? Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Don't pay high prices for gas. Morongo's Travel Center has the lowest price gas around.
Number 2.
Happy Hour at Mosen. Half price drinks, Monday through Thursday, 2 to 5 p.m., Friday, noon to 5 p.m.
And the number 1 reason.
Get ready to rock with the best tribute bands in SoCal. Every Thursday at Oasis Pool.
Morongo, good times.
Is it time to sell your home? Maybe you want to downsize. Maybe you want to move, or maybe you inherited a home that you just don't want to hang on to.
Whatever your reasons to sell, call Seller's Advantage. Seller's Advantage has been buying homes for decades. Their seller reviews speak for themselves.
They are people who buy from people and will provide custom solutions that work for your needs.
They offer and will buy with cash, and they can close in days. The great part is you don't have to worry about spending money on repairs, preparing your home to be shown, or having people come in and out.
It's just a great offer and easy that's going to give you peace of mind so you can walk away happy.
So if it's time to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage for a free, no obligation offer today.
888-321-AS-IS. That's 888-321-AS-IS.
888-321-2747 and visit sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 019-61658. Providence Realty DRE number 019-15212.
L&K's Therapy Thursday is a podcast. The stories are real, the drama is messy, and the advice is life-changing. Catch it now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts. L&K's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
Hey, it's Gary and Shannon. We're here with Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And Jeff, why should people care how their financial advisor is paid?
Most people don't, and that's a problem. But it's because how your advisor is paid will directly influence the advice that you receive.
How so?
Well, most financial advisors are brokers, and brokers can sell one investment over a better one just because it pays a higher commission. Fiduciary advisors are required to act in the client's best interest first.
And that's why we are clients of Trajan Wealth.
Exactly. At Trajan Wealth, our compensation is simple. The more you make, the more we make. Our interests are aligned.
Don't work with a financial advisor who just wants to sell you something. Work with a fiduciary at Trajan Wealth like we did.
Call Trajan today, 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, mistakes are in the DNA of America. And I'm going to tell you of 10 American inventions that were discovered by mistake. KFI has a mistake. They refer to it as the Bill Handel Show. That's coming up tomorrow morning after 7 on the next Bill Handel Show.
My turn. KFI, AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. John Kobylt Show. Last call for the Moist line, 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86. Or use the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. Tomorrow, you get to rant and rave and roar as well. So get your calls in. Follow us at John Kobylt Radio on social media. If you missed the YouTube video today, go to youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show and subscribe, become a member. What else do I got to mention? Podcast is going to be released in a short time as well. I was talking about all the other countries around the world on all the continents, and Joel Pollack, who count their ballots that night or the next morning, okay? Virtually everybody, all the states. So there's something bad happening here. I don't know what. I don't know how. There's got to be something bad happening. When you're the only one in the world that does this, and we have one-party rule, everybody should be suspicious. And if not, you must be a vegetable. Joel Pollack has a column today in the New York Post, and he writes, a lifetime ago, I was an election observer in a squatter camp in a black township on the outskirts of Cape Town, South Africa. It was the year 2000. South Africa was holding its first municipal elections. And after the polls closed, the election staff gathered all the ballots from the cardboard boxes and assembled around a table to count them. There was no electricity in that part of the shantytown, so the officials had to count by candlelight. One by one, the ballots were counted by hand. Observers from the different political parties could demand to examine each ballot for any irregular markings. The process took several hours, but was over by midnight. I learned that even in a country with much of the population living in extreme poverty, ballots could be counted quickly and fairly. And today, in California, the second day after polls have closed, no one knows the final result. Not only that, we don't know when we will know. And members of the public and the candidates alike are left to refresh the results all night on various government web pages, scour the news for updates. Newsom likes to boast about how we're the fourth largest economy, how we lead the world in high-tech innovation. All that is true, Pollock writes. It's also true that we cannot count. The world's poorest people without access to adequate education and electricity are better at turning in results than the most technologically advanced civilization ever to inhabit the earth. By the way, South Africa has photo ID. One more thing not related to the election. Your gas tax is going up again. Yeah, that they do pretty efficiently. They're right on time with that. Here's a law that you voted for. The collective dumbasses who vote in this state. Newsom sent out a notice that the gas tax is going to climb another 2 cents on the 1st of July. 2 cent higher gas tax. Now, in LA County, majority voted down the emergency room healthcare tax. That was a sales tax increase. San Francisco I was actually surprised this lost. It was a tax on overpaid CEOs. That went down 55-45. San Diego had some cockamamie tax. That went down. Riverside had a tax. That went down. So they voted down all the taxes last week, but this is automatic because back in 2017, 2018, you all voted, or a majority of you voted for a tax increase that goes up every year on the 1st of July. You voted not to repeal an insane tax increase because Jerry Brown was saying, well, how are we going to fix the roads? So 8 years later, the roads are the most decrepit in the continental United States. We're in last place for road conditions. The gas tax now totals all the taxes, all the fees, all the regulations, $2, $2 more than any other state. I don't tell you. All you got to do is show up and vote for somebody else. Vote no on something else. Just vote no. Vote differently. A lot of this goes away. And people won't do it. And then they're all upset. And you read the polling, it's like, wow, 2/3 are upset with Bass personally. 2/3 are upset with the job she does. 2/3 don't want to vote for her. Well, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then for some of these people, their best choice is Nithya Raman, who's even worse. And it's like some kind of crazy brain infection. I don't know. All right, well, I'm done. I'm exhausted. We'll be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll be in exactly the same place. Maybe this is our version of hell. We've got Michael Crozier. Conway's coming up next, and Crozier is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KF